Good morning, pop culture. We are live. It's Tuesday, July 24th, 2018. It's 7:45 in the morning, and I am damn glad to be back here talking about everything pop culture with you guys. So, good morning to everyone. It's been a crazy weekend. It's been a lot of fun, but I'm happy to be back, and I'm happy to talk to you guys. So, good morning. Tell me about your guys' weekends. Did you guys do anything fun this weekend? Anything pop culture related? Anything relaxing? I tried to keep up with all this Comic-Con news, but that just wasn't happening. So what I did instead was I hung out with my family, went to a barbecue, and all that stuff. So, yeah, that was my weekend. Tell me about yours. And yes, for those wondering, Good Morning Pop Culture will be on a streaming service later on in the day. So, as always, we're going to wait for the number 200 to hit before we start the main topic this morning. But this is my part where I see how you guys are doing. You watched the movie Tag. I saw the trailer like 4 times, and I thought it looked pretty cool, but I haven't had a chance to watch it, so I'll wait for your review. Good job, David Wheeler. Thank you, Midnight Cherry TV. That's why I do it, for people like you. Except no substitutes in the morning. As we continue to grow, we continue to do more and more here on Good Morning Pop Culture. I've already looked into Google Voice, so we can make that the next step in Good Morning Pop Culture. And soon we'll have a little video stream going, which will be fun to go with that. Yeah, we're going to be talking about the Godzilla trailer. We're going to be talking about the Glass trailer, the Aquaman trailer, the Shazam trailer, all kinds of stuff this morning. This is going to be the most fun episode we've had of Good Morning Pop Culture. So I hope you guys are ready as much as I'm ready. By the way, if my voice sounds weird, it's not because I'm tired. It's because I got an extra ticket to go to the WWE show last night, Monday Night Raw, with my friend Dan. And we had floor seats. So if you watch wrestling, you probably saw me because I was right there on the ramp. But I was screaming, and you know how these things get. So if I sound a little hoarse, it's not because I'm, trying to scare off Dion. It's because I was screaming my lungs out at how much I hate Roman Reigns. So, 2 super chats this early in the morning. Thank you very much, guys. First off, Chris Scheimer, thank you for your $5. My weekend was playing Rock Band and my girlfriend breaking my Xbox. Ugh, fuck my life. Well, Chris, I'm very sorry that your girlfriend broke your Xbox. Now, I hope you had a good time playing Rock Band. Hopefully it was the Xbox 360 with, the good Rock Band games on it. Therefore, if it's broken, it's a cheap and easy replacement. I played a fuck ton of Rock Band back in the day in college. It was so much fun. We used to get together for like 6 and 7 hours back in sophomore year at college and play Rock Band 2. So it really has some good memories. So I hope it was the cheap one. Grendel Fan 84, thank you for your $5. And good morning. Good morning from Comics Elite. San Diego was huge for us and our customers. Completely underestimated the Lego fan base the first day. So I knew that the Lego fandom was strong, but not the crazy hype that I've experienced when I've gone to the Lego store. I go to that store and it's always jam-packed and people are paying, top dollar for a bunch of plastic bricks, but that's cool. I get it. I've actually bought Lego sets. A couple of our fans actually have told me and alerted me, Grendel Fan, about the James Bond Lego set. So on Wednesday, when it went live for pre-order, I tried to join the Lego VIP club. And then that night during the Dark Knight commentary, they allowed me into the VIP club, which I ordered the Aston Martin, and it showed up Friday morning. So it was really creepy how fast the turnaround time was. So I have a lot of respect for the Lego company in terms of customer service relations. But then I also liked the Lego company based on their Toys That Made Us documentary. So Lego's a win-win for me. Some of it's overpriced, yeah, but they make stuff for Back to the Future and James Bond when no one else does. So they'll always get my money if they produce content from those things. And yeah, Grendel fan from Comics Elite San Diego, I watched a lot of your live streams and your live sales, so I hope they went really well for you this weekend. And since you have the inside on Comic-Con, anything you want to share with us and the fans is mostly welcome, or always welcome, excuse me. I meant to say most definitely welcomed. Good evening from Australia. Well, hello, John Dewey. I hope you're having a good afternoon, good evening there. Cesaria Japan, thank you for your super chat. Lego is essentially plastic crack cocaine. That's true. A lot of people are addicted to that stuff. I'm just blown away by the prices they can charge, like $800 for Millennium Falcon, $500 for a Death Star, all kinds of stuff like that surprises me each and every time. But that's cool. I've seen people drop $400 and $500 for Hot Toys dolls. One of our listeners is obsessed with Hot Toys dolls, so I get it. I don't know who Blind Waves are, so I can't really give you an honest reaction about that. But what I can say to you, excuse me, is I'm surprised that somebody doesn't know that Tim Drake is the third Robin, or who Static Shock was. I mean, those are two basic DC characters, especially if you're just a fan of the animated series universe, the DCAU, which is, superior to the formerly known DCEU. You had Tim Drake Robin in the New Adventures of Batman, and then you had Static Shock and Static Shock, and both characters were excellent. So I'm surprised people don't know that. Midnight Cherry TV sent in a super chat. Thank you for $5. Got my first 4 videos on YouTube over the weekend. Got 3 Cecil and Nurkish commercials for Comicsgate, and I'm doing a daily Lego video. Weird, but fun. Well, folks, check out the Midnight Cherry TV channel. World Class Bullshitters is a community, much like we are in the High Council. We all have each other's back. So Midnight Cherry TV, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope everyone goes over there and checks out the Cecil and Nurkish commercials. Cecil's a lot of fun. I've had a lot of interesting conversations with Nurkish off-air, much more than we've had on-air. So I don't really know the character as opposed to the real guy, but the real guy is pretty smart and pretty fun to talk to. Yes, we're doing a live stream on Friday night. We're getting back into that. The High Council's doing theirs, I believe, on Saturday because Ethan has date night with his wife. So World Class Bullshitters is getting together. At 11:30, we're doing a live stream of a surprise movie. We're not going to tell you yet. It's not Star Wars related. So if you want to just come and hang out with us and get to know us better, it's not Star Wars related. And it's one of those commentaries where we can talk about anything you guys like. We don't have to stick strictly to the movie, but put it like this. It's in the zombie realm. So if you like zombie shit, you're going to like this. And I'll make you guys a guarantee. If that one does well, then we will do a second thing that we'll do a second movie that you can actually watch with us live. So don't miss out on that. Yes, I'm excited for It number 2 or chapter 2 that was announced at Comic-Con. That's my most excited film of 2019. Glass is my second most. And I did see the Darth Maul Hot Toys thanks to our friend American Trent. Grendel Fan 84 again, thank you very much for $5. From San Diego, Marvel's Cosmic Ghost Rider by Donny Coates is the next big thing. His glow-in-the-dark cover sold out fast. I haven't picked up a Ghost Rider comic since the 90s because I think there was a coupon for one in a comic book. You can get a game and a comic at KB Toys or something like that. Ghost Rider was a very cool-looking character to me as a kid, but I never picked up the book beyond like crossovers. I have a thing called like a Marvel Treasury Edition where it's a Spider-Man book, but Ghost Rider's in it. And that's the kind of stuff I'd like to show on camera one day for fun when I do a second collection video for you guys. If there's enough interest, I'll make pretty much anything for the channel. So thank you again, Grendel Fan. High Reclusiar Grimalda says, oh, buddy, you don't know the beginning of plastic. Play 40K. That's real plastic crack. Morning, Jeff. Great job on the recent video. Well, thank you, High Reclusiar Grimalda. I appreciate it. It was a video that I wanted to make. It was a lot of fun making it. I firmly stand by what I said. And if you pay close attention, what I said is you shouldn't get too excited because they're not new, but at the same time, also be excited for the fact that it's not SJW Disney Wars. But I firmly stand by the fact that it's a desperation attempt for them to get back in the good graces with the fandom. We're almost to that 200 number, guys, and as soon as we get there, we will go into our Comic-Con coverage. We're mainly talking about trailers. We're going to talk about the Batman, the animated series Blu-ray that was announced yesterday. And if you guys haven't heard about it, I'll be telling you all kinds of information. We'll be talking about how you can get it pre-ordered. It's limited to 30,000 copies, and they've already sold 2,001, at least one to me. So if you guys are a super fan of that show like I am, and you grew up with it, it's part of your childhood, and you look at the toys and go, man, that's the real Batman, then you don't want to miss out on that. Thank you, Real Peacemaker, for having our backs. And Dr. Nails, or Coffin Nails, said, I finally caught up with all your videos. Ready for more? Well, don't worry, my friend. There are definitely more videos coming. There's so much shit coming at me all the time that I just basically got to make this a full-time gig. We'll talk about some Hasbro toy sales as well as the Last Jedi comic this week. Yes, I'm excited for Mission Impossible Fallout. I think I'm taking Friday afternoon to go see that with Dan. So that'll be fun. And good morning to everyone. In this week's High Council, for the next rotation of High Councils, we're just doing the group of 3. We haven't really found anybody new available yet. So for the next 3 weeks, it's just going to be Jeremy, Ethan, and myself. So it's going to be the most distilled, pure, condensed High Council possible. Grindlefan84, thank you for your very generous super chat of $10. Thank you for tuning into our live shows. We plugged you guys during our live Friday night show at the store. Any suggestions and critiques are welcome. I didn't hear that, but I believe you 100%, and I thank you in advance, or thank you in advance of me watching it. And I'm just looking forward to meeting you in person at Indianapolis Horror Hound, and we'll talk and we'll shoot the shit, and we're going to live stream from there, and we'll come over to your booth and hang out and stuff like that, man. So I can't wait for that. Our show's going to be crazy. By the way, folks, if you're in the Midwestern area and you like world-class bullshitters, if you love world-class bullshitters, as you should, we're going to be live at Indianapolis Horror 2018, August 24th through the 26th, so a month from today. Now, if you don't have the money to go to the show, there are after parties, and you can come hang out with us, and we're going to be drinking and eating pizza and hanging out all night long. So if you want to meet us, well, that's your best place. And Grendel Fan is going to be there as well. And if you love comics the way I do, the dude has a great selection of books. I thought the Ghost Rider Nick Cage films were all right. So yes, hello to everyone. I'm a huge fan of The Twilight Zone, Warren Filbert. It's my favorite TV show, and the 83 movie's okay. I'm going to do some Twilight Zone stuff. And by the way, I think I'm going live again today later on before the High Council. Somebody was telling me about this where basically the SJWs are eating themselves alive, and I have an author who knows the full story. So he's going to come on today, and I'll let you guys know well in advance what's going on. Ooh, Crockett and Tubbs checking in. Thank you, Greg Rivera. Ooh, all the way from Asia. Awesome. So, guys, let's talk about these Comic-Con trailers since we have passed the 200 viewer threshold. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in this morning with Good Morning Pop Culture. It's going to be a lot of fun, like I said, guys. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. So, first off, we're going to talk about the Godzilla trailer because I have something fairly controversial to say. Agree, disagree, let me know. I'll be reading all the comments. So, from what I had thought about the Godzilla trailer is I liked it. It looks good. I'm a big fan of Godzilla, and I'm excited. The monsters look great. We saw Rodan. We saw Mothra. I'm sure there's more I've missed. Was there King Ghidorah? Or it was just Ghidorah. My point is I was very entertained by the trailer. I liked Godzilla 2014. I know I'm in the minority. People were complaining there's too many people. There's not enough Godzilla. But that's how the old stuff seemed to be. Godzilla kind of showed up at the end to clean house. It wasn't just a knockout, dragged out brawl. It was just, fun. But you had to wait for it. Now, my problem with this coming Godzilla movie, hypothetically, is that there will be a double standard. Because people bitched in the 2014 one about not enough Godzilla, but they're going to praise this one because they like Stranger Things and Millie Bobby Brown and all that shit. So I'll be interested to hear how many critics overly praise her and Vera Farmiga and what's his name, Kyle something from Friday Night Lights and Early Edition. what I'm trying to get at is people are going to act like the people parts are the best part of the movie when in 2014 everybody wanted the monster stuff. So you're going to have a switch. They're going to go for more monster stuff. People are going to complain about not enough people stuff. It's going to be interesting to hear how fickle the critics are. But as a fan of Godzilla, I'm pumped. And I'm pumped for when King Kong crosses over. And I'm excited for more giant monster movies based off the ones I know. Didn't like Pacific Rim. Wasn't a fan. Wouldn't mind seeing Godzilla crossover with King Kong versus the Power Rangers or something crazy like that. But Nathaniel Rourke liked the trailer too. Kyle Chandler's his name. Thank you very much. Oh, you liked Godzilla 2014. Okay. So yes, thank you for enjoying a good film, in my opinion. Funny story about that. Dan and I went to see it in IMAX 3D. We got there kind of late, so we had to sit in the very front row, and we couldn't see the screen. So we climbed over the railing, and we both fell over the fucking railing onto the floor. And then the theater gave us new tickets for the next screening. And at the next screening, 2 people were kicked out for smoking weed right behind us. So my experience with Godzilla 2014 was quite interesting. So guys, before we move on to our next trailer, let me know what some of your thoughts are on Godzilla as a whole. Are you a fan? I remember in the 90s, we had a Godzilla resurgence. They had that toy line. Was it Trendmasters or somebody was making Godzilla toys, and I had to have them. So I remember going to Toys R Us, and I got this Godzilla set. You had a little Godzilla figure, but you got like a city that you could like press buttons and the buildings would fall, and it came with little bitty tanks and little bitty soldiers. It was a lot of fun. Oh, wow. Thank you, Rhino4563, for your generous super chat. Jeff, good morning. Absolutely loved Shazam. Have hope for Aquaman. I'm excited for Godzilla 2. Did you see a theory that Charles Dance's character is Tom Hiddleston's character from Skull Island? I did not see that theory at all, Rhino4563. But I'd like it if it was true. Charles Dance used to scare the shit out of me in The Last Action Hero when he talked about having a nightmare with Freddy and his eyes that he would pop in and out. The guy's a really good actor, and I would buy that Tom Hiddleston would age 40 years, 45 years actually, from Skull Island to that character. So if that's the theory, cool. That's one of the few fan theories I'll buy into, because you guys know how I feel about fan theories overall. I think they're bullshit, but sometimes there are ones that have a little bit of validity to them, or believability, I think is the better way to say it, because they're only valid if they're true or somebody behind the scenes proposes them. But yeah, I love Shazam, and I have hope for Aquaman. I'll be going into, you know what? I'll go into those next because you brought them up by name, Rhino4563. You guys have known for a while how we felt about the DC stuff. We're not DC haters. We're not Marvel fanboys, but we like what we like and we dislike what we dislike. And for us on the channel, because I'll speak for everyone here, the DC stuff has left us kind of flat overall. Surprisingly, we all had the most positive feelings towards the Justice League film. Not because we thought it was the best film in the DCEU, but because we felt it was the least offensive and therefore good enough. Wonder Woman was really good, but it kind of fell apart at the end when she fought Ares. Justice League had a weaker villain, but it had cooler visuals, and it moved so fast that none of us really had time to sit and pick it apart. I distinctly remember when they got to the final battle, and I took my mom to see that movie because I rarely take her to movies, but for some reason she wanted to see that one. She loves Batman. That's the cool thing about my mom. If it comes to Batman, she's like, oh, I'll buy it for you. I love Batman. Adam West was her shit. But I took her to see that, and I leaned over towards her at the end of the movie during the climax. I said, everyone says this movie's terrible. I'm still waiting for it to get terrible. And I didn't leave disappointed. Justice League was fine to me. I would watch a Justice League sequel. So speaking of Justice League sequels, let's talk about Aquaman before we talk about Shazam. And before we do, everyone is saying we got Godzilla fans here. Are we getting another Power Ranger movie? I do not know. Good morning, Shelley Roberts. Can't wait for the sequel to Shin Godzilla. I missed that one out. Nat Denon, if you want to send me information about EVS's conspiracy from The Last Jedi, I'll talk about it. We talk about Star Wars all the damn time here, and you guys never seem to get tired of it, so don't worry. If you got something crazy to tell me about in terms of The Last Jedi, I will respond. No problem. Yeah, the Godzilla 98 sucked. I saw that. We rented that on tape. That was a big deal to rent that movie. I remember I went to a kid's birthday party. His name was David Mellon. Very nice guy. We took piano lessons together. His mom was super nice. And he got a Godzilla 98 toy. Now, my mom bought me toys all the time, but she didn't buy me stuff unless I really loved it. And I wanted a Godzilla 98 toy, but she knew I didn't really love it. I just wanted it because it was cool. I got all the Small Soldiers toys. And while Small Soldiers was mildly disappointing, Godzilla 98 was devastating how shitty it was. Oh my God. So while everyone is telling me about stuff, I'm waiting for the news from Ethan. Grendel fan, thank you very much for your generous super chat. He says, I would gladly read or watch the Nightmare sequence spinoff from BVS. That part was solid. We saw the parademons. There was a lot more that could have been done with that. That should have been done with that. I don't think Ben Affleck is the best Batman, but I don't think he's the worst Batman either. I don't have this like ill will towards DC movies the way I feel about, well, Suicide Squad's dog shit. Suicide Squad's as bad as The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens to me. It's more competently made, but it's equally dumb, if not dumber in many ways. Suicide Squad, I left the theater just disappointed. I was heartbroken with the other two Star Wars flicks, but Suicide Squad was a new low. I thought BVS was bad. Suicide Squad was worse. And just to answer anybody's questions preemptively, yes, Spider-Man 3 is a terrible movie, but when I first saw it in theaters 3 times, I didn't realize how much I disliked it until I got it on Blu-ray or DVD, so get that out of the way. But yeah, the Nightmare sequence was cool. I thought Batman with the duster was awesome, how he was using the guns, fighting the things. I almost wish it was more of the movie. I think that BVS had some possible moments of greatness, but they fumbled way too much. They were so focused on getting to the Justice League that they didn't even have time to tell the story. Man of Steel and that should have... Man of Steel should have had a lighter tone. BVS should have had a slightly lighter tone too. Wonder Woman had the tone right. Justice League had the tone right. You know, Shazam is the next evolution for these DC movies, and I'm really excited. It's high on my list of movies I'm excited for 2019. I want DC to do well. I'm more excited for what's coming from DC than I am Marvel. Now, the Avengers Infinity War Part 2, whatever it's going to be called, you guys know how I felt about the first one. I was blown away. I can't wait. This next one, with the Captain Marvel influx, and we know how Disney pushes his garbage in their movies and his agendas. Well, if the Avengers has that in it, I'm going to be the first one to call it out and walk away. I'm not excited for Captain Marvel. Call me what you will, but I know the character. I don't like it. I don't really like Brie Larson too much. She seems very unlikable, and that kind of shit just translates over from real life to acting. So I think DC has a chance right now to blow us away with the next couple of films. But yes, Grendel fan, Nightmare was awesome. I will not be checking out the next X-Men comic because I don't really read a lot of X-Men comics at all. So the one thing I'll say about X-Men, even as a kid, if you didn't get caught up on X-Men, it's kind of hard to catch up. Like if you watch it out of read it out of context, it's kind of hard to get in on the story. Let me get something on the screen. So this is what we're talking about this morning. No, that doesn't work. I'm trying to pull up the Comic-Con logo for you guys to have something to look at, and it keeps giving me PNGs, which wipes out the white. So, excuse my awkward silence. Now let's talk about the Aquaman trailer. Aquaman. Did anyone ever think we'd see an Aquaman film? Seriously. I never thought we'd be seeing an Aquaman film in a million years. I never thought we'd be seeing a Shazam movie, and I never thought I'd be excited for a Shazam movie. I knew about the show. I knew about the characters. When I was a kid, I read all Marvel, DC, everything I could get my hands on, and I liked it to varying degrees. Superman was great. Batman was the best. Spider-Man's Marvel's best. Love all that shit. But Shazam and all these other things, I can't believe that. Rhino4563, thank you for your super chat, $5. In my opinion, BVS had 3 plots going at once: World's Finest, Death of Superman, and Dark Knight Returns. Just a complete mess with Martha. Yeah, I agree 100% with that. I don't know what I would call like World's Finest. If you're talking about the animated series Superman episodes where they call those World's Finest, where they first meet up, I could see that. When people say World's Finest, I usually think of a movie or just the comic book series overall. But I definitely saw Death of Superman and Dark Knight Returns. What I think they should have done was just not had Superman die. That was kind of a dumb plot point. I thought that was too much. The movie was dumb already, but when that happened, I was like, oh, really? They kill him off too? It wasn't even like heartbroken or upset. It just, just felt too much. It's like a joke. It's good up until a certain point, and the comedian tells one more part to it, and it just kills the flow of the movie. So I was a little disappointed with that. But yeah, BVS definitely had 3 plots going on at once, and none of them really worked. If you were going to do a Dark Knight Returns movie, you do it right, where they're old, and Superman works for the government, he's a sellout, and Batman has a new Robin, and all that stuff. They also tried to include Death in the Family. There were just too many things going on. I think Zack Snyder sits in the room and goes, okay, guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this one, and 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 they're all iconic. We're going to make $1 billion, and we're all going to be rich. And none of it happened. None of it happened whatsoever. So BVS was disappointing in terms of its returns at the box office. Justice League was a flat-out failure of solo proportions. So we'll have to find out what happens next. You would have bet $50 that you never thought you'd see a Aquaman film. Yeah, me too, honestly. And thank you, GJ Videos. It's a very nice compliment. I appreciate it. So, by the way, folks, when we get through these trailers, this episode, we can talk about anything related to Comic-Con. If there's stuff you guys want me to cover that you haven't heard us talk about on the channel, feel free to throw that at us. I'm more than willing to talk about it. Because remember, Comic-Con's so big, we don't get to talk about everything. And, there's a reason Batman the Animated Series announcement was, released the day after Comic-Con, so they could get all the attention on that. And I don't think Alita Battle Angel will do well either. I saw the trailer and I thought it was dumb. All right, guys. So let's talk about these trailers. So we talked about Godzilla. Godzilla, the film, I'm excited for, but I think there'll be that weird double standard with Millie Bobby Brown. I like Stranger Things. I don't have any personal issues with her as an actress. She does a fine job on that show. Let's see if she can carry herself outside of Stranger Things. But let's talk about Aquaman. So I liked the Aquaman trailer, which is a surprise to me. Aquaman was always a lame character. I have to be honest with you guys. I was a little guilty of thinking about Aquaman in terms of the Family Guy joke over the actual character for many, many years. Oh, thank you for your super chat, Lord of Sorman. Should have used Metallo, not Doomsday. Would have been really cool, but isn't Metallo powered by kryptonite? Oh, yep, Metallo's powered by kryptonite. Lex Luthor could have given him that core. That would have been a much better story, because Doomsday should be saved for a bigger event post-Justice League. The character should have faced a world-ending thing first with Superman. Then with Superman out of the picture, they have to find a way to do it without him, type of thing. So, yeah, Lord of Sorman, I'm all about Metallo, and I keep thinking of Metallo from the cartoon with those weird lips. I know that's an odd thing to notice, but anytime I watch a cartoon or look at a comic book where they overdraw the lips, it's the first thing I notice. But in terms of Aquaman, I was guilty of thinking he was the Family Guy spoof. Remember the woman's getting attacked on the beach, and Aquaman's like, hey, you better stop it. You better stop it. He's out in the water and he can't do shit. Well, then I started reading the New 52 Aquaman from Jeff Johns, right? Reese. And the character was cooler. I didn't start buying everything, but I liked what I saw. And this movie comes out at a time where my perception of Aquaman has changed, as well as Jason Momoa's performance in Justice League. I thought he was one of the best parts of the Justice League film. He was funny. He was cool. I bought him. He's like a darker-skinned Chris Hemsworth. And that's one thing I wanted to say about this trailer, is it reminded me about the Thor films, which is not a bad thing. in many ways, the Marvel and DC universes have their parallel characters. Thor and Aquaman are each other's parallels now in these cinematic universes, if you will. And I'm hoping that some of the goodwill from the Justice League, and yeah, I think most people are just, I think it was ambivalent towards it. They don't care. They're not angry at the Justice League film. They just didn't see it. They're just, eh. I hope there's no anger like there was from BVS and all those other films that went into the Justice League's results that carry over to Aquaman. I hope Aquaman gets a chance. Visually, it looks awesome. Like the underwater battle, even though I hate sharks, I'm excited for that movie. That underwater stuff is neat. Is it just weird as Aquaman's parents look like they could never produce Jason Momoa? I don't even know what Jason Momoa's parents look like, but I'm going to agree with you because it sure shit isn't Tamara Morrison and some white lady. Mermaid Man is better than Aquaman. The Thor films are average at best, so that seems right. Yeah, I'm not saying the Thor films are amazing works of art, but they're fun for what they are. Most of these Marvel movies are fun for what they are. If you guys notice, like who listen to all the episodes we do here on the channel, when I talk about my favorite films, there's not a single comic book film in my top 5 because I judge comic book films differently than I do regular films. Maybe I'm giving them a little bit too much of an advantage, but overall, I don't rate comic book films the way I rate my favorite films, like a Star Wars or Back to the Future or something. We needed an Aquaman Sharknado crossover. You need a producer's credit, John Harrison, because that sold me right there. Let's take it to Hollywood. I'll call Ethan. He'll call Jeff Johns. He'll call Richard Donner. We'll make that movie. And to answer the question about Gambit and Rogue, I know as much about Gambit as Rogue as the animated series told us, and enough. And I'm interested enough to try to pick up their action figures because Gambit is awesome and Rogue is one of the best female X-Men characters. Finished coffee. My first cup of coffee. What's next in Apache Chief film? So overall, I think the trailer was at best. I'm a little worried that it's going to be... The thing is with the Aquaman film, in many ways, it's an origin film that would have fit better with a phase 1 type of thing with DC. But we've already seen the big crossover. We've already seen Superman die. We've seen Batman a handful of times. We've seen the villains crossover before this. So I hope they can do something new and interesting and that the origin story is maybe a flashback in the beginning. Don't really want to be spending too much time with little Arthur Curry being abused as a kid or a training montage. I'm worried that they're going to try to copy too much from Wonder Woman. But Wonder Woman was a good film that made a lot of money, so I guess if you have to copy something in your own repertoire, you're going to copy the most successful thing. Black Manta looks awesome. And I know this sounds really weird, and I hope this doesn't come off wrong, but I'm glad that they didn't... You know how nowadays they're like, we can't have a certain type of villain because a guy couldn't hit a female villain or this or that. I'm glad that they went true to Black Manta, and he looks just like he did out of the comic book. They didn't try to change anything for 2018. Just straight up Black Manta from the page. Awesome suit. The actor looks just like he would in the comic book. I have nothing but excitement for Black Manta. Black Manta is a badass character. Even though his helmet's kind of hokey at times, they did it right in this film. I'm reading the comments. Sorry, people are talking about a Sharknado Jaws Aquaman crossover. You guys are the best. And this coffee smells delicious. Benny Warren, thank you for your super chat. I feel like they showed too much in this trailer. I do too. When we talk about the Shazam trailer, I feel like they showed just enough to keep you interested. But with the Aquaman trailer, you kind of got it. The whole... It's basically the movie Thor. Origin, exiled to Earth, stepbrother taking over your rightful throne, big battle ensues, except Thor's battle was personal on the Bifrost, and the Aquaman battle is going to be this epic underwater phenomenon. I almost said fiasco. That's not the right word to use it. By the way, Amber Heard looks great in that movie. If you're an Amber Heard fan, press F. I don't think she's the greatest actress, but thumbs up from me. Yeah, Nathaniel Rourke, you're 100% right. A good delivery can make hokey work. Look at Harrison Ford in Star Wars. The shit he said in Star Wars said by anyone else does not work. But here it does, or in there it does. Grendel Fan 84, thank you for your very generous super chat. Mr. and Mrs. X #1, the Gambit Rogue series, comes out this week with multiple variants from the legendary J. Scott Campbell. We will be selling them live on our new Comic Tuesday show. So that's Epic Comics, right? I don't want to give out the wrong name. But guys, if you're looking for comics and you can't get out to the store, follow him. Like I said, I watched one personally. They got all kinds of stuff. And a store that's been around like that, you're going to get... Like, that's one thing I'm always hesitant about when I order comics at times. Like, oh, man, I hope it comes in right. I hope it doesn't get folded. I'm pretty sure you, Grendel Fan, have that all under cover. All under wraps. It's going to be taken care of. Now, J. Scott Campbell is one of my all-time favorite artists for covers. There's something about him. Like, I like the way he draws a Spider-Man. I like the way his work looks. I don't know if he's ever done interior work, or if he has, I haven't seen it off the top of my head. Maybe it was at Gen 13 or something like that back in the day. But I'm hoping that the story isn't full of the same crap that we see in all of these modern Marvel books. Like, the Iceman character wasn't gay originally. Iceman was a ladies' man. From what I remember from the Amazing Friends cartoon with Spider-Man. I don't like when they change characters for the sake of changing them. I think a character like Gambit and Rogue, if you keep them true to what most people know, you're going to get a lot of interested people, male and female. Some people will like the relationship aspect, like my friend Joel. He honestly cares about the relationships between the Titan characters. And you'll get some people like me that just like a throwback to the 90s. And you'll get some people out there that know him from the cartoon and are going to give it a chance. And if they're impressed by that issue, well, then you got a reader for at least 2 months. So, Marvel, my advice to you, don't fuck up. Don't put your shitty politics. Get the right people behind the books. When you have the right people making a movie, you have excellent work. When you have the right people making comics, you have excellent work. Don't fall into the trap. This is your chance, guys. Your reboot of Spider-Man was already dead on arrival. Read it, hated it. How are we living in a world where, at least for me, I'm excited for all the DC shit, but not the Marvel shit? Like Batman the Animated Series on Blu-ray. The DC streaming service is interesting to me because of the exclusive store. All kinds of stuff. But Marvel can just go fuck itself. It's, oh my God, a lot of love for Amber Heard. Excuse me, Grendel Fan 84, thank you again for your super chat. Comics Elite, find us on Facebook. We have several J. Scott Campbell San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. So guys, I apologize. It's Comics Elite. I don't want to butcher somebody's name. Like, I try not to butcher anybody's screen name. I don't want to butcher Grendel Fan 84's comic book store. And like I said, folks, if you're here to see us at San Diego, I wish we were at San Diego. If you go to see us at Horror Hound, Comics Elite's going to be there too. So say hey to us, get some stuff, go over to there, pick up some comic books. We'd love to talk about comic books with you. That's one thing you'll know when you meet us. Dion and I are very well versed in comics and the movies. Kendo likes the movies. Nick watches the movies for the show. And by the way, folks, we can talk more about the Titans trailer on this episode. All you got to do is ask me specific questions, because I watched it 2 or 3 times. I hated it 2 or 3 times, but I don't remember everything specifically. So all you got to do is just ask me specific questions so you can get a better answer. And thank you again, Grendel Fan 84, for your very generous super chats this morning. And folks, it's Comics Elite. We're on the Facebook page. So let's talk about the Shazam trailer, which to me is one of the biggest surprises. I'm saving the final trailer discussion for the movie that I'm most excited for emotionally, and you'll get to learn more about me when I talk about the Glass trailer in a few moments. But let's talk about the Shazam trailer. I don't normally say this. I don't normally get like this over anything this early, but I loved this damn trailer. Like, holy shit. I thought that the suit looked dumb in all the stills, and I was not excited for it at all. I thought, Zach Levy, why couldn't you put on real muscle? Why couldn't you do this? Why couldn't you do that? But then I saw the trailer, and I saw the tone that they were going for, and how he acted as Shazam, Captain Marvel, if you will. And I'm excited now. I'm not saying it's going to be a 10 out of 10, and I'm going to go out and pick up Shazam shit, blindly and be super excited and fanboy out. But I'm going to tell you guys that I'm interested in seeing this movie day one, and I'm interested in discussing it, at greater lengths. First off, I was very impressed that they got the kid from It. I thought all the little kids from It did a great job. I think that was one of the strongest points of the film, were the young actors that they cast in all the roles. No one felt out of place. The only character that I felt wasn't as good as he should have been was Mike. Not because I thought the kid was a bad actor, but because he didn't have enough time to interact with the crew. Maybe that's a shortcoming of the way they broke down the Stephen King story, but that's just my thoughts on that. But I'm glad they got the kid from It. The Billy Batson character didn't look overly angsty. He looked like he wanted to get away from his life in foster homes, but he didn't seem too cliched. I'm going to be very fair when I see this movie. I'm not going to let the trailer color my perception. But I thought from what I saw, I liked that aspect. And now let's talk about Zach Levy as Shazam. Best part of the trailer for me was when he's like, "What's up? I'm a superhero," and he's eating all the fast food and shit like that. DC needs an injection of fun and lightheartedness. DC needs this. If this movie's bad, will I admit it? Of course. Do I want it to be good? Of course I do. I want all these superhero movies to be good. I know we talk about superhero fatigue and this and that. I want these movies to be fun. Hell, I want to be wrong about Captain Marvel. We'll talk more about that over the next year. But with this film, or at least this trailer, I liked what I saw. I'm hoping that they don't overdo it, the humor. I hope they do it right, and when it needs to get serious, it gets serious, and then it returns to the proper tone. Now, this is influenced by the New 52 Shazam, which I believe was introduced in Flashpoint. Or no, wait. No, that would have been the alternate universe. Point is, this is more Jeff Johns Shazam, not classic stuff. And really, that's all I have to say is that I just really was surprised. I think the surprise is why I'm speaking so highly of it. I watched it on Saturday afternoon when it came out, and I went, wow, that didn't suck at all. And then I watched it again, and I found little things that I liked. I think Zach Levy is the right choice for this role. Haven't seen the movie. Can't say he's the next Robert Downey Jr. in a superhero film. Not gonna say that kind of shit. But what I will say is that I'm more excited for this film than I am Aquaman. And Aquaman was the best part of a movie I enjoyed. So if that builds it up, its hype, its importance to me, there you go. Now, I'll be seeing Shazam opening night. I'll be seeing Aquaman opening night. And I have to see Captain Marvel opening night. Ugh. But I hope you guys are interested. I don't want to do sound like, oh man, I'm fanboying out for something. I'm not. I was just impressed by a trailer. And this is the most trailer reaction you're gonna ever hear me get on the channel. So let's see. Tony. Wait, hold on. Sorry, I missed a super chat from Benny Warren. Will there ever be a good Speedster movie? Maybe the Flash movie that will be Flashpoint could be excellent. Because I don't know if you guys have read Flashpoint. Press F if you have read Flashpoint in the comments. I thought that was a really fun series. Was it the greatest Marvel or DC series ever? No. But I loved it. I was hooked back in 2011. Joel and I would get the issues, and we were reading them back and forth, and he'd get all the crossovers and spin-offs and stuff. And it was a really fun time to be a DC fan. I was into that stuff. New 52 started out strong, really kind of blew up quickly. Batwing and Static Shock were really bad. But I don't know, Benny, if there'll ever be a good Speedster flick. I don't really like The Flash too much. Not to crap on your favorite character. But from what I take it back, I like the Flash comic books. I hate the Flash TV show. If you like the show, awesome. More power to you. I hope you enjoy it. But the comics are cool. I like that idea of, traveling through time and going back through time because you went so fast and stuff like that. Crisis on Infinite Earths, cool story. I love that he becomes the lightning bolt that hits him and all this other shit. Flash is a cool character. Just don't like the show. Tony, I'm going to call you, let's see, Tony Aletnowitz. I have zero interest in Aquaman or Venom movies. Oh, yeah, Venom. I forgot they're even making a Venom movie. I'll talk about that in a moment. Don't worry. Not interested at all. Brad Norris, thank you for your $5 super chat. I'm a huge Shazam fan, and from the trailer, it looks like they got his personality right on. Well, you'll know better than I will in terms of accuracy to the comic. I've only read a few things, and I have a DC Showcase, which is essentially a big reprinting of old Captain Marvel Shazam stories from, I think these are ones from the 40s. Well, no, those would be the old Fawcett books. They're old, so they're not going to be what the new stuff is based on. But I'm hoping that the whole that Zach Levy isn't like inconsistent throughout the movie. He just gets that right. I think we'll all be surprised next year if we're good or bad. Either it's the worst thing we've ever seen or it's way better than we thought. A lot of F's here. All right. A lot of U's, Q's. Thank you, Rugis. Grendel Fan 84, thank you again for a very generous super chat. Big Jerry Ordway, Captain Marvel. Yes, Captain Marvel, not Shazam fan. And that trailer got me giddy. They got the tone right in the trailer. Big with a superhero. I'm glad you mentioned Jerry Ordway. I have a friend who's a friend with Jerry Ordway. Folks, if you don't know who Jerry Ordway is, make sure you Google him because he's a fantastic artist. My favorite comic book adaptation of a film is from Batman 89, and Jerry Ordway was the artist. And every panel looks accurate to the film. Every Michael Keaton looks like Michael Keaton. Every Nicholson looks like Nicholson. They all look great. Jerry Ordway, awesome artist. Now, I'll have to check out his Captain Marvel stuff because Grendel Fan, I don't know if you remember this, in the 90s, they did a Superman book. It wasn't even like a comic. It was just a collection of pieces of Superman art, covers, promotional stuff. It was just it was a comic book sized thing, and it was priced like a comic book. But Jerry Ordway did a painting of Superman lifting up a World War II tank. It was a double-page spread, and it was incredible. And you have to ask yourself, and Grendel Fan, you'll probably know this better than I do, why the comic book industry wouldn't keep guys like that around instead of the crappy art we get to this day. I think realism in comic books will always sell people because you'll see, like Alex Ross stuff still works to this day. If Jerry Ordway was doing those types of paintings in comic book form, he could be, he should still be more prominent in the industry than he is. And Darth Primus, I don't hate the CW series. I just didn't like what I saw. I liked Arrow more. But I'm glad the trailer's getting people excited. And I'm glad they're moving out and they're expanding out from just the core DC and Marvel characters. Marvel's done it right. They had, you got to see the Falcon in a Captain America movie, and down the road you may see a Falcon film. You got to see the Guardians go out there. You got to see, Thor's always been kind of an Avengers, mainstay. You got to see an Ant-Man flick. I never thought we'd live to see an Ant-Man flick that was good. And then the sequel, which wasn't as good, still a good film. We're living in a golden age of superhero flicks, folks. So if you're angry towards them, just remember that this is going to be as good as it gets. I don't think we'll ever live in a world where everything's the Dark Knight, but at least we're not living in a world where everything's Batman and Robin either. But thank you again, Grendel Fan. Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. Where are the Heath Ledger villains of our time? I thought Thanos was just as good. I read a good article the other day talking about how the Joker's overexposed. If I find it, I will make a video on it for you guys, and you guys can start a discussion with me. If I find it, maybe I'll do a live video like this so we can actually get a more visceral reaction from folks. Ant-Man is still not in the UK. Johnny 5, you're alive, and I apologize that you have to wait this long. So, are you guys ready for me to talk about the next trailer, Glass? Who gives a shit about Glass? If you can tell me what movie that's from, I'll give you a special shout out right now. And I'm waiting, because that's important to me. Jay Hamilton says Ledger's Joker is overrated. I kind of agree with you, man. Kind of agree. I think Jack Nicholson is the Joker that still stands up. Ledger's Joker was great. I think people have kind of ruined the character by mimicking it constantly. There you go. Lost Cause 78 wins. It's a Die Hard reference. It's the part where Dwayne T. Robinson bitches about the windows blowing out. And he goes, Glass? Who gives a shit about Glass? So, yeah. Midnight Cherry TV, you were a close second. But no, guys, Lost Cause 78 with the win for the first Die Hard. Thank you, Lost Cause 78, for paying attention. Grendel Fan 84, thank you very much again. Jerry Ordway is my all-time favorite DC artist. He's a slightly older gentleman now, and I'm thinking the pace of a monthly/bi-weekly series could be too much for his attention to detail. His attention to detail is almost second to none. That dude, I'm not trying to build him up because, you're on the channel listening in. Clearly, I know who I'm talking about off the top of my head. I can't praise that goddamn Batman 89 comic book adaptation enough. It is just awesome. The guy, why wasn't he like of John Byrne levels in terms of like financial success? John Byrne, Terry Austin, great team, not knocking either of their talents combined. Jerry Ordway, though, man, that guy was just as good. I think his women were more attractive. John Byrne's women kind of had that fisheye look going on. And I'm not going to sit and tear down John Byrne because his X-Men run is legendary. Maybe for nostalgia's sake, I like the Jim Lee X-Men the best because it's nostalgia and I like the costumes, but the artwork is hard to follow. The panels are hard to follow. But the John Byrne X-Men run is like every panel is like merchandise quality, like a Romita comic book for Spider-Man. Every panel that the characters appear in, they're perfectly drawn and inked and they got the anatomy right and everything's awesome. I like that kind of stuff. But I guess age and maybe money is an issue for Jerry Ordway. Maybe they don't want to pay the money. They'll pay some kid, $50 or $60 to ink a page, but Jerry Ordway could demand $400. So I guess from a business standpoint, that'd be the only reason. I know I don't own a business that makes comic books, but I would always try to have the superior art and storytelling. I mean, DC can buy all these writers, and that's cool. And overall, DC does have better art. They have like Ivan Reis and those guys. They had Ethan Van Sciver, who is a great artist too. I just think you should pay for the quality, and I don't care how old the person is. If they can still hang, bring them on. The older guys were masters in their day. Jerry Ordway is up there with all those guys. So I'm glad there's some more Jerry Ordway love out there in the world. Thank you again, though, Grendel fan. Logan Michael 69. Someone stole a package off my porch. Logan Michael, I'm always happy to talk to you, my friend. I wish you had good news for me. Last week, something bad happened to you. Now this is happening to you this week. I hope it wasn't anything super expensive, and I hope you can file a claim with Amazon or whoever you ordered it from. Maybe get a camera for your porch. I don't live in a good neighborhood, so I'm always watching for when I'm getting a package. Honestly, like when Amazon's like, your package is shipped, every day at like noon or whenever my mail comes, I go outside and I look, and I can hear the mailman, and I look because I don't want anything stolen. I don't buy anything like super expensive, but the fact that I don't want my Goku action figure stolen is, just principle of the matter. So let's talk about Glass, because I give a shit about Glass. By the way, folks, thank you for indulging me in my Die Hard references. When I say this, I mean it. I can't watch Die Hard enough. I could watch it every couple days for the rest of my life and be entertained with the little bitty things that I pick up each subsequent viewing. Much like Beverly Hills Cop and Back to the Future. And Grendel fan, one more time, just because you've been so generous to the show. Guys, it's Comics Elite. Follow the Facebook page. If you need to pick up comics, go to Comics Elite. We got another one from Dub Shiesty. Thank you very much. Glad you had fun, but WWE house shows suck now, bro. Oh, I went to Raw and it sucked. I'm not saying it was a fantastic show, but I've never sat so close to the ring. And I've been to I've been to like almost 40 events. I've been to the last 13 WrestleManias, Raws, SmackDown. I went to the last King of the Ring. I've been to SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series. I've been to all the big ones. Like, I've been to crazy shit. I saw The Undertaker fight Shawn Michaels in the first match. I saw Ric Flair's last match. I've seen tons and tons of great wrestling. Yeah, Raw last night was not even on my... It's close to the bottom. But being that close and with your good friend, you had a good time. So I agree that it is shitty, but I was glad I got to go. Oh, Logan Michael, again, thank you for your super chat. Even worse, it was a NECA 18-inch Michael Myers. I'm so sorry, dude. I'm really sorry. I hope you can get... It was from eBay, I guess. Just file a grievance, or hopefully nobody stole it. Maybe somebody that just got lost and it's going to be late. By the way, folks that are talking about Die Hard, I'm talking strictly about the first film. Second one, I don't like. Third one, I love. Fourth one, I like. Fifth one is, we don't talk about that on this channel. So, let's talk about the Glass trailer. She's in der Fenster. So, I'm excited for the Glass trailer. I was excited by the Glass trailer because I'm excited for the film. It's number 2 currently on my list of 2019 films. Personally, number one is It Chapter 2, which I'll talk about a little later on. I'm a Stephen King mark. Admittedly, I'm just a fan of the Stephen King adaptations. I need to read the source material to accurately, get a feel for the stuff. But based on the work, I like the work. Like on a weird cloudy day like today, I like to kick back, drink a cup of coffee, watch Stephen King shit. I like the tone. I like the feel. I'm really a big fan of it. But Glass is my number 2 film of 2019 in terms of anticipation. Yes, over the Avengers. I loved Unbreakable. I saw Unbreakable as a kid in the theaters, and it was one of those movies that I saw once, but then I saw later on video and on cable and stuff, and I kept watching it, and I loved it every time even more. It was something that your average 12-year-old or 11-year-old wasn't really watching, but I was. So when I would talk about it, people were like, I don't know that movie. I don't know about that movie. But I've stuck with it through the years. And then I heard all this stuff about Split after, M. Night Shyamalan shit the bed early on, and I didn't stick with him. I watched Sixth Sense and I liked it. Then I watched Unbreakable and loved it. Didn't care for The Village or Lady in the Water. The Happening was just a bad joke. So then I stopped watching M. Night Shyamalan films. Fast forward, and I went and saw The Visit, and I liked The Visit. I have a digital copy of it legally. I enjoyed The Visit. And then Split came out, and everyone's talking about Split this and Split that. James McAvoy, great actor, all this stuff. I've seen X-Men. I agree. James McAvoy is a great actor. But I didn't see I bought it on Blu-ray on Black Friday, and I hadn't watched it yet. And so the other night, I sat down and watched it, and I was blown away. I thought Split was excellent. Wasn't the world's greatest movie, but for what it was, and a return to form for M. Night Shyamalan, I really appreciated it. And then we get this. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything in Split for you, but if you've seen it, you know how it ends, like the actual post mid-credit sequence thing. Gave me goosebumps because I was like, oh my God, I know it's going to happen. And then we saw something, and then it confirmed it. So now we're here with Glass, and it's a shared universe between Unbreakable and Split. And this is what M. Night Shyamalan should have done before Marvel and DC did, but that's okay. If anything, maybe it worked out in his favor that we now live in a world where superhero shared universes are the norm, and we get another different one. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are, but I like that we're going to get to see the Beast come out, Hedwig or Hedwig, the little kid character, Miss Patricia, all the alter egos of Kevin, what's his face, from Split. That was exciting. We get to see Samuel L. Jackson back, and he doesn't usually disappoint. Even when he's in a shitty role like Snakes on a Plane, he's fun. And we get Bruce Willis, and I think Bruce Willis gives a shit in this role. So I'm beyond excited for this movie because it'll come out in January. It'll be post the Christmas buzz. It'll be a smaller picture, but it'll still hold a lot of weight. Now, Sarah Paulson's character doesn't really interest me because Sarah Paulson as an actress doesn't interest me. I thought she was one of the weaker parts of The People versus OJ, that FX documentary or whatever. Or not documentary, but miniseries. But I'm not going to spend 20 minutes dumping on her. If she's awesome, great. I want her to be awesome because we really need that the psychiatrist role to be awesome. If she is in the film way more than Bruce Willis, James McAvoy, Samuel L. Jackson, I'll be pissed off and angry. But as of now, the trailer excited me. It's my number 2 most anticipated film of 2019. And I think it's a good time to be a movie fan because we're getting a lot of stuff, even outside of comic book movies, that are at least interesting to me. Mission Impossible's this week. I'm excited for that. Halloween hits in October. I can't wait. I fucking love Halloween. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And we have stuff like Glass, It, just different things. The horror genre, the superhero genre is being changed a little bit. Yeah, Hollywood politics suck. And yeah, actors are dickheads and all this stuff. But there are people out there that are making good artwork in terms of film. So give it a chance. And if you're one of these people that wants to support The Little Guy or something like that, go out and see Glass, go out and see It. Even though those are big studio-produced films, it'll get more stuff like that. That's why It Chapter 2 had such a quick turnaround, and that's why they pumped so much money into a cast like James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain, Bill Hader, and the like, because the last one made so much money. And so we're going to get a better quality film. So I'm not here to preach about stuff to you guys, but if there's a certain genre, if there's certain things that you like, make sure that you go out and support them early on so the people in charge know. Like with The Last Jedi in episode 9, skip it. If it flops at the theaters, then you guys are going to know, or they're going to know that people are fed up with this shit. I mean, they can try to throw the Clone Wars at you and distract you. Don't fall for it. Stick to something else. Help another film make a bunch of money. Go see Jumanji. Go see something like that. Skip Star Wars. That'll send a message to them, and then everything we've talked about for the last couple of months will come true. So in the words of Captain Planet, the power is yours. GrendelFan84, thank you again for your very generous super chat. Thanks for the shout out. 80s was stacked with talented artists, much like the NBA was stacked with talent. I think it's a bad case of being overshadowed by other talented artists. In terms of Jerry Ordway? Yeah, probably. The older I get and the more research I do on comic book artists, you learn that some of the better people didn't get the attention and praise they deserved. Yeah, they say the cream always rises to the top, but sometimes the most marketable people rise to the top. I'm not trying to cause a problem, but like Humberto Ramos, I think is a terrible artist. I can't believe he worked on The Amazing Spider-Man for so long, but I guess he's marketable, so I can't really shit on his viability in that term, but I can't stand his artwork. There are other more talented artists out there that should be working, in my opinion. EVS went live again. That's cool. Like I said, Jeremy, Ethan, and I are all friends. We will always have each other's backs, but we operate independently. So Good Morning Pop Culture is my little corner of the internet where I take a different approach with you guys. I drink some coffee. We talk about entertainment. It's a much more personal show, and we're going to be coming at you every Tuesday through Friday, eventually Monday through Friday, and soon with Google Voice. So I'm always evolving this show. So if you guys like me and you like this kind of format, we're going to be slowly evolving it into something even better. So don't miss a single episode because we got the views. People are helping the channel out. All kinds of shit's going on. So I definitely know that there's a market for this. And like I say all the time, if there are people watching, I'll be here for you guys. Would I spend $85,000 on a 70s Dodge Supercharger from Fast and the Furious or $85,000 on a Porsche? Porsche. If I could fit in the goddamn thing, I love Porsche 911 Turbo. Holy shit, I want one so bad. I want one so bad. The High Reclusiarch Grimaldus says, I hate to split hairs. Take it easy, Jeff. See you later, High Reclusiarch Grimaldus. I hope you got to hear me say goodbye to you, my friend. Thank you for sticking with us on every live stream that we do. Morning to you, Lime Green Hulk. By the way, Lime Green Hulk, there's somebody called Lime Green Hunk, so you might want to watch out. They're trying to steal your gimmick, bro. D. Pensack, a local fan of the channel, says he's very interested in Glass. The trailer was effective. I thought so, too. The trailer was very effective, and it was a lot of fun. 10XL and EVS story. Oh, man, that's funny. Most King shows suck. I forgot about Under the Dome, but yeah, add it to the list of Haven in the Mist. I don't really watch the Stephen King shows. The only show that I watched recently that I loved was 11/22/63, the James Franco JFK one. That was excellent to me. I love the JFK stuff, the conspiracy around it. James Franco's a good actor. James Franco's an actor that I first saw and I thought, that guy's going to suck and do nothing. Now he's a heavy hitter. I respect the shit out of James Franco and would love to have him on the show one day. He's so fun. Gamepad 31, I honestly don't know the difference between those two cars to give you an honest answer, so I apologize that I can't answer that one. And thank you, Lost Cause. I appreciate that. I should watch 12 Monkeys the show. I liked 12 Monkeys the movie. That was Terry Gilliam, right? Brad Pitt, Bruce Willis. I almost said Bruce Lee. That'd be a twist. Yeah, 12 Monkeys starring Brad Pitt and Bruce Lee. I think that'd get butts and seats. EVS is all muscle. I can't wait till the three of us, Jeremy, Ethan, and myself, are all in the same room. We'll take photos together. I'm probably a head taller than Ethan, 2 feet taller than Jeremy. Something about Jeremy just screams he's a short guy. Oh, Lime Green Hulk and Lime Green Hunk are the same person. Mueller called me Lime Green Hunk on a stream, so I changed my name. Okay. The Pui. Thank you, the Pui. Morning to you, too. It's always nice to see your Stormtrooper helmet. By the way, the Pui, I thought of you yesterday. I was on a Facebook group it's called Articulated Comic Book Art. And it's basically people take action figures and do comic book panels. And they had the Stormtrooper with the armor that you use in your icon, and the Stormtrooper's body was in sand, and it had a skull for a head, and the helmet was over here next to its body. I don't know why I'm pointing next to myself. You can't see me, and I'm not John Cena, but I thought of you, and I thought of your icon. So good morning, the Pui. Thank you for being back once again here on Good Morning Pop Culture. Oh, the Tin Man, dude. Hardest question of my life. Selma Hayek or Sofia Vergara? Oof. Can I just say, can we replace or to and? Because those two are like dreams. Anyway. Oh, Jeremy said he's about 6 feet tall. Okay, I'm like closer to 6'6", depending on what shoes I wear. So I'll still be the tallest one. Okay, I didn't realize he's tall. I've watched his videos, but he's always sitting down. Coming at us with another video. Now I've been on that joke. Let's see. Points of light. Jeff versus EVS cage match on stream. I don't think you want me to wrestle them, guys, because we'll put it like this. A Joy-Con Switch controller is like the size of my finger. That's why I can't really play the Switch in handheld mode, because my hands are too big for it. Grendelfan84 says, the Alex Ross Glass movie poster at San Diego Comic-Con sold out fast. I didn't even know he had one. If I was at Comic-Con, that's the kind of stuff I'd buy. Exclusive art prints. I like to support the comic book aspect of Comic-Con. And then the toys, because I'm a fucking sucker for toys. My God. By the way, Grendel fan, you and I are going to have a discussion about San Diego Comic-Con, because I've always wanted to go, and I just want to know what it's like, and maybe I can try to get the channel there, not in any official capacity, but just walking around the show floor, hanging out, having a good time. Little Andre the Giant. Thanks, Joel. All right, sure, Midnight Cherry TV. We'll take them on in a 2-on-2 basketball game. Yeah, Midnight Cherry TV. I can't wait to meet you, by the way. All your Mystery Men references. It's going to be fun. You're more excited for the NECA Michael Myers figure than the Trick or Treat Studios mask. You know, Logan, I was more excited for the Trick or Treat mask until I saw people wearing it at Comic-Con. I'm glad I didn't pre-order because I'm not a fan. I'm excited for the Mezco one. I pre-ordered it. I'll put out the money for it. You don't get much 1978 Michael Myers stuff, so you get it now when you can. What do I like about going to Horror Hound? I used to like it because I could go make money at the show, because for years I was an artist and I didn't have a lot of money, so Horror Hound meant I was going to make cash, which was nice. Now that we do the show and different stuff, I just am looking forward to going to network, drink, hang out. That's how I met Nick. That's how Nick and I became really good friends, through Horror Hound. We worked next to each other at a table, and we're lifelong buddies now, and everybody seems to like Nick, so thank you, Johnny 5. I didn't realize that was a shock trooper. So do you guys want me to talk about the most exciting thing I'm going to talk about this morning? Press F if you want some excitement in your Good Morning Pop Culture, because I am really excited to talk about this. I'm actually even going to a website that I consider a dumpster fire to talk about this news this morning. So I'll be waiting for those Fs. You know, it's weird. When you're in school, you want nothing but A's, B's. On the internet, I want nothing but Fs. All right. Tons of Fs. F, 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 F. The finalist of the Final Fantasies. Okay, so let's talk about the thing I'm most excited about, and this is the most interactive part of the show. I feel sad for the people that have checked out on this morning's stream. You rewatched Dredd. What if Carl Urban played Batman? Maybe a TV series like Punisher. Thoughts? I'm all for Carl Urban. It's weird when people say Carl Urban, the first thing I think of is Bones from Star Trek. But he was a great Dredd. He could be Batman. He could be Punisher. He could be all those characters. He's a very gruff, masculine type of guy that superhero films and action movies will always need, no matter how much the SJW culture wants to subvert our expectations. And, oh, we're going to have Salt, and we're going to have all these other movies. The only one I thought was somewhat decent was Lucy, because it dealt with the psychological stuff, but nobody saw Proud Mary or Red Sparrow, so... Oh, people are like, I'm not that excited. I can't handle that much excitement. By the way, Revenge of Moctezuma, I have that on my Hulu list of Graveyard Shift. That's the next thing I'm going to watch. So, wait. Oh. Jeff the Iron Wolf says, hi, Jeff. FY, doing a rewrite of The Last Jedi. Stay tuned. Thank you, Jeff the Iron Wolf. I'm excited for that one. Sorry about if I sound. I thought I saw another super chat from the guy that's what's his face, Jinder Mahal pop up. I didn't want to, not respect him and read it. So I'm just going back to check that real quick. I don't think I missed it. By the way, folks, if I ever miss one, just let me know and I'll go back into a special window and I can pull them up to read them. So don't worry. No misreading of a super chat is ever intentional. But thank you, Jeff the Iron Wolf. All you have to do is email it to us at worldclassbs@mail.com. And by the way, folks, if you guys ever do rewrites of films in a comedic way, excuse me, and you want me to read them on air, all you got to do is email them to us. And if they make me laugh, we'll talk about them live on an episode of Good Morning Pop Culture. There's American Trent. Damn it, Trent, you got me to buy shit I didn't need to buy. So, as you guys can see here, remastered Batman the Animated Series coming to Blu-ray this October. So, I turned 30 this year in October, and this is the birthday gift I'm giving to myself. I know that sounds really lame at 30. People want house stuff. No, I want Batman the Animated Series. Fuck a blender. Fuck a toaster. I want Batman. The only thing I have to say about this is I recently purchased Batman the Mask of the Phantasm on Blu-ray, so I'm going to have an extra copy lying around. Maybe I'll do a giveaway or something. We'll sign it from World Class Bullshitters and send you a copy of Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So this comes from a garbage website called Polygon, but they had the best coverage of it, so I have to be honest here. Batman, the Animated Series, is coming to Blu-ray in its entirety later this year with remastered visuals. The Blu-ray release will get a deluxe limited edition box set, which is currently available for pre-order, and that link will take you to Amazon, that's stuffed with special features, creator commentaries, and additional content. The Blu-ray set will be released October 16th and feature new remasters of all episodes in the series, plus remastered versions of the full-length Batman film, Mask of the Phantasm, as well as Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero. The box set will also include audio commentaries by cast and crew on 11 select episodes and a series of features, find the full list below, led by a 60-minute making-of documentary titled The Heart of Batman. Real quick, I want to make a few points. If you ever listen to Bruce Timm on the commentaries, by the way, the 11 commentaries are on the DVDs, so if you guys have the DVDs and you're dying to know the commentaries, they'll already be there on the DVDs, the same ones. Bruce Timm has gone to say they'll never remaster this show because it would take away the appeal, the darkness of the show. So I'm very interested to see how this show looks remastered. I think Warner Brothers has been waiting to release this because this is one of their most respected and loved properties in terms of anything they've ever done. And they don't want to fuck this up. So I expect this series to have stellar 10 out of 10 visuals. And I'll be personally heartbroken if this looks like shit. I'm hoping they've gone back and cleaned up all the frames of animation, got rid of the dust and the dirt, even fix the inconsistencies that do pop up, the animation errors. I hope they fixed everything. I hope this is the definitive Batman the Animated Series release, and you'll never need another one. And they can just keep pumping this one out and putting in new Funko Pops or something like that. Because this series is the greatest cartoon ever made, and it deserves to have the greatest Blu-ray box set ever made. So right now, I want you guys to tell me what your thoughts are on Batman the Animated Series. Are you is it one of your favorite cartoons? For me, like I just said, I think it's one of the best ever made. I love it. I love the shit out of it. Thank you, Cadmium Red. Good morning. It's going great. This is a good episode of Good Morning Pop Culture. John Huey says, broke ass, but today is payday. Well, thank you, John Huey. I appreciate your super chat. And I hope that on one of these coming paydays, you consider getting Batman the Animated Series on Blu-ray. And by the way, folks, I don't normally review consumer products on the channel, but I will be reviewing the shit out of Batman the Animated Series when it comes out. We'll maybe do some live commentaries as a group. Get some fans on the channel. We'll talk about Batman the Animated Series together. Net Cyber rewatches it every couple of months. I love this cartoon series as a kid. Very cool, says Red Cadmium. Yeah, I watched it every day after school as well, too, Tony. F Batman. Yeah, thanks, Rugis. That Titans trailer, man, that was the absolute worst, most cringiest piece of shit I've ever seen. I hated it. Thank you, FireAt, for just finding us. I'm glad you stuck around and subscribed. We've had a good bump in subscribers. So welcome to everyone that's new. This may be your first Good Morning Pop Culture, and if it is, make don't make it your last one. Come back every morning. We talk about different stuff every day, and I like to bounce stuff off the fans, the listeners. It's a fun way to spend your morning. And once we do the live call-ins, guys, I think that's going to be kind of off the hook. So, Nathaniel York, Batman the Animated Series was world class. It gave us Harley Quinn, so that's a plus. Easily the best ever made. So for me, excuse me, like I said, my voice is shit because I went to wrestling last night. For me, the biggest sell on this, admittedly, is the remastered picture. I'm not an audiophile like a lot of people, but I do love the picture. The picture is what is most important to me. So I'm excited to see how good the picture quality is on this box set. If anything, that's what I'll be judging it by the most. And there's a closer visual of it. Yeah, best Joker. Mark Hamill's greatest moment of glory. He is the best Joker, hands down. I mean, it's almost not fair to to rank him because no one will ever top him. Quick side note, one of my favorite Mark Hamill Joker moments actually isn't in Batman the Animated Series. It's in the Justice League cartoon where they go to Vegas and he's holding the city ransom and Harley Quinn is on TV talking about these bombs. God. We got to do some DC animated stuff for fun just to help, wash the taste of Star Wars out of our mouths. Project Redfoot, Ninja Turtles 89 or Batman 89. I think Ninja Turtles was 90s, but I'm not going to pick. I will say pick you apart, so I apologize, Redfoot. Batman 89, though, all the way. I like Ninja Turtles enough, but I'm a Batman fan more than I'm a Ninja Turtles fan. And that comic book was pretty decent, Batman Ninja Turtles crossover. But Batman 89 is one of my favorite movies of all time, so that's how I feel. Thank you, Ballet Dancer New Jersey. I appreciate that compliment. I could listen to you read a cookbook. You have a great voice. I used to hate my voice, but then, people have told me they like it. So I think everyone's their own harshest critic. I'm just glad people enjoy listening to me talk about stuff. So thank you very much. Mark Hamill does seem like an all-around great actor, and he seems like a really great person. That's why when he said the stuff he said about Star Wars, I kind of had my feelings hurt personally. I was like, oh, man, you're saying shit about the fans. Mark, we love you so much, man. The people you're calling out aren't the ones that are saying this shit. Thank you, Nathaniel Rourke. Yeah, there's a lot of people telling me that they want to hear me talk about DC stuff. Gladly. This is the shit I grew up on. So let's look at the box set real quick. So we have a very neat box. I don't like how the Funko Pops are featured in the thing because I hate Funko Pops, but that's okay. I'm not going to let my personal bias ruin this box set. So you got a nice slip-out book, the way they do the Star Wars Blu-rays. I like that style. I actually think the Indiana Jones box set was one of the nicer box sets with the cardboard sleeves. They're easy to remove. You don't have the stupid plastic things where you can have anything break. It's very, very nice and concise. And you see we got some lithographs. We have the discs. I think they said, was it 10 discs or something? And then you have the 2 movies. And you got all the episode lists and special features lists. So that just looks great. So E. Michael, thank you very much for your $5 super chat. Good morning. Batman, the animated series is on Amazon Prime. I remember the Phantasm twisting Joker's neck while he's laughing when watching the movie, but I think they took it out. I don't know if they ever cut anything out of that. I don't remember it. I remember him holding the Joker with the blood streaming down his mouth, and the Joker just starts laughing as everything blows up around him. I do know that the Joker in the Batman Beyond movie, there's some stuff cut out of that. So I know there's alterations and changes. Now, E. Michael, I'm aware that it's streaming on Amazon as well as Superman and the Batman Beyond movie, but they aren't the new remasters. For me, like I said a moment ago, the remasters are the thing that's going to sell me on this because I have the DVDs right next to me. I'm looking right at them. This also will be nice for me because I did not purchase the season 4 Batman when they redid all the artwork. I didn't like that one as much, so I didn't buy it. I liked it as a kid, and I bought the 2 toys. I bought Batman and the Joker, as I always do. But I didn't get the DVD box set, partially because it was 2008. I was working at 7-Up and I didn't have a lot of money. But the Dark Knight release, they put out tons and tons of special sales on Batman. So I kind of went nuts and bought a few things. But it'll be nice to get every episode, because even though I don't like the redesigned artwork, the episodes do look good. But thank you, E. Michael. I'll have to look into that change. I have the Mask of the Phantasm Blu-ray right next to me, and I'll try to check it out. Oh, Project Red. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Project Redfoot, I'm just busting your balls, man. Real quick recap. I thought the Godzilla trailer looked good, but I'm worried about the double standard that everyone's going to praise Elle because it's her and they love Stranger Things. The Glass trailer was awesome. It's my second most anticipated film of 2019. The Aquaman trailer, I liked it, but it was overall just okay. Visually, it was cool. I hope it's as good as I want it to be, and I hope it's not boring like an origin story can be in these days. And Shazam, I love the shit out of it, and I'm excited to see the film. Let's see. Does Jeff's voice fit his body? Well, I am become Death Destroyer of Worlds. What do you think I look like? And then I'll let you know. I think background is a big bush. I don't know. Depends on which back. Well, that's Batwoman. I don't know. D's Nuts does not like Stranger Things. I like Stranger Things, but I'm not in love with it. I do like the throwback, and I like the tone of it, but I'm not that nostalgic for the 80s, because I didn't grow up in the 80s. I was born in the 80s, and I grew up in the 90s, so maybe if there was a 90s equivalent of Stranger Things, maybe I'd feel the same way that some people do. It has a kick-ass theme song, though. Holy shit, does it have a kick-ass theme song. But we'll talk about Stranger Things when season 3 comes out this year. It'll give us an excuse to go back, rewatch it, and talk about this stuff. That's one thing I love about the channel being as big as it is now, is that there's an audience for all different aspects of entertainment. Back when we used to talk about horror stuff, we'd get 60 views, and it was kind of heartbreaking because we put all this time into horror stuff, and no one was there to listen to it. They just listened to the podcast barely. Now people will watch tons of stuff that we put out. So if you guys demand it, and there's enough interest, like I said, we'll cover anything. Cadmium Red says, I was surprised by the Shazam trailer. Me too, man. Me too. That was just very impressive. And I hope it's as good as I want it to be. I know that sounds like a weird thing, but let's see. Am I a fan of the TV show Sliders? No, because I've never seen it. I can't judge it, but I think Jerry O'Connell's in it. Liquor Jim, that is a good way to see me, but I'm thinner now by quite a bit. So I'm proud how I look now. Rujas, you grew up in the 80s. It was a magical time. I look back on the entertainment release in the 80s, and it looks awesome. I mean, it is awesome. I've watched tons of it. I can't say, like, oh, I wish I could watch it. No, I've seen tons of 80s movies. My favorite movies are all from the 80s. Best music comes from the 80s. Best TV shows. Well, one of my all-time favorite shows comes from the 80s. Dan Harmon just deleted his Twitter. The Rick and Morty guy, right? I'm just catching up on Rick and Morty season 3. I'll talk about Rick and Morty for just a quick moment, if you guys don't care. Rick and Morty is a fun show that makes me laugh. I like it a lot. The episode that sold me was, I think, the episode 2, when Scary Terry appears, like, oh my god, it's a copyright, something of a beloved 80s slasher, and I laughed my ass off, and so I stuck with the show. It's definitely kind of gone down a bit by the time season 3 rolled around. Pickle Rick was fun. That was a good episode, but overall, I don't like the show more than I like something like King of the Hill, but Rick and Morty to me is better than Family Guy or stuff like that. So, Cadmium Red, the costume looked stupid in the production shots for Shazam. It looked better in the trailer. So I'll, take back all the reservation I had. Well, not all of it, some of it. Grendelfan84, thank you again. How did you grow up in the 90s and not see Sliders with Jerry O'Connell on Fox? It was the first multiverse TV series. Well, let's see. In the 90s, what did I watch? Remember, I was born in 88, so I'd have been 2 in 1990. So as a kid, throughout the 90s, I was watching like Power Rangers and stuff like that. Now, when it came to movies, I watched things that were geared towards kids or rated R flicks. I didn't watch a lot of TV because we had those rabbit ears for the antenna, and you didn't get the best reception. So not until I got a little older did I watch weekly TV shows. And as a kid, the season stuff threw me off too, because you get to the shows there, and then it's not there the next week for months, and sometimes you forget about shows. I think the first show that I watched regularly on a weekly basis was like Third Rock from the Sun, or that 70s show, something closer to the later 90s. So I didn't catch Sliders. I think my friend Donald, or Oz as we call him, he's a big Sliders fan. If he's listening, what's up, man? But I think it was on Netflix for the longest time. Oh, sorry. Hercules: The Legendary Journeys was the first show I watched regularly as a kid. That was live action. That wasn't like geared towards kids. I couldn't miss an episode of Hercules. Well, maybe Hercules was for kids, depending on who you talk to. It was awesome. I can't talk about Hercules without Dion. I got a big smile on my face thinking about that show right now. And thank you, Liquor Jim. That's my number one thing. The other guys in the High Council go live all the time and do 10 videos and stuff. I go to the gym every day at 2 o'clock for a couple hours. That's my prerogative. So I can live longer and we can have more of this channel forever. If I felt like I used to feel, this channel wouldn't have Good Morning Pop Culture and all the shit I'm able to do right now. So, F is for family. Oh man, Billy Ritchie, thank you for reminding me. Excellent show. I like that quite a bit. I guess I like that more than Rick and Morty. I really do. I know Rick and Morty's the fun, trendy thing, and the Szechuan sauce and this and that. And I enjoy the shit out of Rick and Morty. I'm not here to dump on it at all. I enjoy the hell out of it. But King of the Hill is my personal favorite. Beavis and Butthead. I like Mike Judge a lot. F is for Family's up there, and it's over Rick and Morty. Dio Brando says, first off, Dio Brando, thank you. Did you hear about the Buffy reboot? About how she's going to be black? I did hear about that. And I also heard how the SJWs are upset about it. Guys, I said this before and I'll say it again. You don't gender swap, you don't race swap. I'm never fond of that. James Bond is a white British guy. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a white girl from the Valley, or wherever part of California she lives in. I don't think a race swap is going to help. Plus, Buffy the Vampire Slayer is so beloved. I don't even think it's the biggest problem is that it's a race swap, is the fact that you're making it without Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy. It's like Alden Ehrenreich playing Han Solo. Harrison Ford is known as the character. Sarah Michelle Gellar, what else has she done besides a couple shitty 90s flicks? That character is what defined her entire career. No matter what she wants to be remembered as, she's always going to be remembered as Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I don't even really like that show that much, but I'm still behind the fact that you shouldn't remake it or you shouldn't race swap. You shouldn't do anything with it. It's a dead series. Let it go. Market it, make comic books and toys and all that other shit, and maybe do a revival series. But don't remake it with a black girl. It's not going to work. And then you're going to try to use the excuse, oh, you're all racist people. No. Guys, you don't fuck with what we love. That's the same thing with Star Wars. They're fucking with it just to fuck with us, and we're the wrong fan base to fuck with. Same with Buffy. You don't pick these nerd or geek franchises that people are emotionally tied to, because those are the people that will snap back and they will make sure that shit doesn't work. If you're gonna reboot something with a stupid I don't know, change the color of the characters, reboot something that nobody watches, like The Fall Guy or something like that. Do you even know what The Fall Guy is? So there we go. You're just setting yourself up for failure. Net Cyber, no. Mystic Knights of Tir Nanoog, I watched that a little bit, but I was just talking about straight up shows that weren't for kids, because I guess Power Rangers and like Salute Your Shorts and Double Dare were shows I watched that were live action, but I meant like straight up like shows that were for adults or just everybody that I stuck with. John Harrison, this is an interesting point. Some race swapping is good. Michael Clark Duncan was a good Kingpin. Michael Clark Duncan was a fine Kingpin, but Vincent D'Onofrio is a better Kingpin. And I'm not saying it has anything to do with his color. I just think it has to do with he was a better, more intimidating Kingpin. Sometimes race swapping of a non-main character works just fine. I don't think, like Felix Leiter being black works fine because Jeffrey Wright is a great actor. but I don't think you should race swap the main character. I don't like that they swapped out some of the Spider-Man cast and made it different, like half black Mary Jane. The characters look a certain way. Somebody's like, I'll never forget when Spider-Man Homecoming was coming out, people were like, they're not written to be a certain color, so you can't use that argument. I said, they're drawn that way for 50 years. That's enough writing for me. So there we go. Buffy is Mauler's favorite show, so he's probably going to be pissed. I need to contact Mauler. I got to get him and Dishonored Wolf on this channel soon. By the way, folks, that Star Wars EU discussion is happening. I'll give you a date by the end of the week so I can find out when everyone's available. But it's happening. So many people have shown interest. And basically, it's going to be a panel discussion where we talk about Star Wars, the EU. And you can ask questions and shit like that. So I hope you guys are there. Cadmium Red, I haven't read any of the Venom comics in probably 20 years, so I cannot give you an honest answer. But I did check out, I saw Agent Venom back in that was like 10 years ago already. I saw Agent Venom and Anti-Venom in the Spider-Man books. So that's really the extent. If you want to talk classic Spider-Man or the Amazing Spider-Man is a line, I'm your guy. Dangerous Liaisons was better. That's my mom's favorite movie. I hate it. I love my mom, but I hate her taste in movies. Grendel fan again. Hey, show some respect for sorority number 3 in Scream 2. Just kidding. Well, thank you, Grendel fan 84. I kind of remember her from Scream 2. Scream 2, I don't like Scream. Sorry, guys. I know that's going to stir up some controversy. I watched all the Scream movies, and I saw 4 in theaters, and I've seen all the other ones at least twice. I don't like them. My favorite Scream is when Jay and Silent Bob pop up in number 3. I know they're supposed to be tongue-in-cheek horror movies. I didn't get that as a kid. I just thought they were dumb. So maybe that's why I don't like them as an adult, because I'm remembering them a certain way. But I always believe in being honest with you, so that's why I feel the way I do about Scream. Well, Darth Platypus, everybody uses that argument nowadays. Oh, okay. People do like the Fall Guy. That's just the first thing I could remember. Sorry, guys. That's just the first thing. I was going to say the A-Team, but I'm like, no, man. You know, they tried to remake the A-Team. That didn't work. What's his face? Something Jackson, not Action Jackson. What's his fucking name? Rampage Jackson was not as good as Mr. T. Cesario Japan, thank you very much for your super chat. Good morning. You had to say, surprising result of the Buffy reboot and race swap rumor was SJW cult critic queen Anita Sarkeesian went nuts on Twitter about it. I don't like Anita Sarkeesian and what she stands for. So, good though, I guess. You shouldn't change Buffy. It's funny though. Now she knows how that shit feels. All right? So every time Anita Sarkeesian ever says, we need this version of this and then female should be taking over these roles, I'll be like, listen, Anita, remember Buffy and how pissed off you were? That double standard bullshit doesn't work on somebody like me. I don't like you and I don't like the work you do. You don't actually do work or contribute to society. And she could say, well, what do you do? I entertain people. This is a place where people can come and have fun for a couple hours every day. All you do is bitch and moan about stuff that you have no control over, and you're trying to alter the most lucrative market in the world in terms of entertainment, the video game market. But it won't work. You're a pariah and nobody likes you. So it's funny that she's bitching. Remember, folks, Anita Sarkeesian is just not a good person. Grendelfan84 says the Kingpin origin episode of Daredevil is terrifying. Damn right it is. Grendelfan, I said this before. I think we're going to have a really awesome conversation at Horror Hound. But when he was staring at that white wall, and then at the end he stared at it in jail, holy shit. I could go through and watch some Daredevil right now. I wish I had the time for this stuff. Every time you guys bring up something, I go, man, I could watch that right now. I really could, but I don't have the time, so I can't. Just know that I want to watch these things. Maybe I'll get drunk at Horror Hound and watch an episode or something. Cadmium Red, I promise you guys I will give you plenty of heads up information about that. It's not this week for sure. Friday night's going to be a live watch party of a zombie flick. And like I said earlier, before people got here, it's going to be late. It's going to be at 11:30, so it's going to be a later night stream. But if enough people stick around and show interest, we're going to do a double feature. And the double feature is a film in the public domain that I can show you guys so you can watch and hear us talk at the same time. So just show up. And the more you guys show up for stuff, the more stuff we'll do. Yeah, the Dark Tower didn't work either, John Lance. All right, we had a couple super chats pop up. First off, from Dio Brando. They're both from Dio Brando. So, Dio Brando, thank you very much for all you do for the channel. Buffy the Vampire Slayer had a black Slayer in the show. She got killed off. A new show set in the same universe could be successful. Angel was popular. That's a very good point. Folks, you can have stuff set in the same universe. Just don't change the character we all know and love. I use the excuse, or not the excuse, but I give the example. Idris Elba could be 008. Idris Elba's a great actor. I like him a lot, but he ain't James Bond. He'll never be James Bond. He doesn't want to be James Bond because he knows that it's career suicide if he takes on the role. A black James Bond won't work. I'll use this platform every day of my life to say, I'm not going to see it. It's a terrible idea. Don't do it. Just opposed to the idea. Black spy movies, cool. I love Ving Rhames and Mission Impossible. I don't really care about an actor's skin color, but I care about a character being portrayed as the character as accurately as possible. I still don't like Daniel Craig with blonde hair. Come on, like that's me being pissed off. But then Dio Brando also had this as a follow-up. Sarah Michelle Gellar, a star in the last Buffy show Robin Williams was in. It's probably better that she was remembered as being Buffy. Although, okay, that Robin Williams show, yeah, she was in that one. Okay, that's what you're saying. Sorry, still early here. By the way, Robin Williams' story was very sad. I'm not going to get on a platform to talk about suicide, but I believe there's a book that came out about him, and it turns out he was really sick. So Robin Williams was awesome. Mrs. Doubtfire, you remember those moments, you're like, man, that's kind of sad that he had such a sad life, especially being sick like that. Good Will Hunting's really great, too. But I guess Sarah Michelle Gellar would want to be remembered as Buffy more than anything else because she was cool. She was a kick-ass chick. Everybody liked her. She had action figures, comic books. She had her own franchise. I wish Sarah Michelle Gellar would speak out against it if she cares and is like, hey, you know, I'm Buffy and don't accept any substitutes type of thing. Dub Shiesty says, thank you very much, Dub Shiesty. And yes, Azar Japan, it's an impromptu watch party, trust me. Dub Shiesty says, Jeff, I'm 100% Middle Eastern. All my childhood heroes are white dudes. I don't want any reboots that change the characters into Middle Easterners. Thank you, Dub Shiesty. And by the way, I was about 6 feet away from Jinder Mahal last night at wrestling. It was kind of weird. The back knee was real, bro. No, you make an excellent point that I wish a lot of these crazy SJW people would take into account. You and I are both not white, but our favorite characters are. I don't understand why everyone needs to think that you have to look like the character to like them. Like, I like The Rock. The reason I like him isn't because we have the same skin color. It's because he's cool and does cool things. He could talk shit and back it up, and that's what I like. I like a guy or a girl that talks shit and can back it up. Princess Leia could back her shit up. Han Solo could back it up. And not in a weird way. So for people nowadays to say that you have to like Black Panther because you're a black kid is disingenuous and stupid. The people that make those arguments aren't fans of anything. They're just fans of weird ideologies and that aren't good for anybody in terms of entertainment. And I'm glad, Dub Shiesty, that there are people like you and me that will be like, hey, we want our characters to be our characters, our heroes. Don't change them up for modern day things because they don't want a white Shaft. We don't want a black Bond. It doesn't even, matter about the skin color. It just depends on the content of how good of a character they are, and we want them to be the same. So, Dub Shiesty, I'm with you 100%. I could talk about that kind of stuff all day. I just don't want to spin the wheels and talk about the same stuff constantly. Not your question, but just me. I'll keep using the Bond example. Superman, with Will Smith rumored to play Superman in the 90s. That would have been terrible. I wouldn't have been behind it. Superman has a look. Henry Cavill looks like Superman. Maybe he's not your favorite Superman, but he at least looks like Superman. And it's the suit and the tone of the films that I hate. I think he's got the ability, mustache or not, to pull it off right. Real quick, folks, for people asking about the impromptu watch party, I'm just going to give you guys the name of the movie so you guys have ample time to pick it up. It's not even expensive if you do want to get it. We're watching Return of the Living Dead. It's the most fun zombie movie ever. And if you stick around long enough or we got enough people watching, we'll do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 riff track style viewing of Night of the Living Dead, which is in the public domain. It's here on YouTube. So make that happen. And we'll tweet out what time we're going to do it. Probably 11:30 for the first one. And if you can stay up late for the second one, please do. It's going to be a lot of fun. I just wanted to give you guys plenty of time. And Logan Michael will ever go to Texas Frightmare. Texas Frightmare is not easy to get into. They have a weird selection process, so it's kind of hard to get into that show. But the channel's growing, and once we have that 100,000 subscriber button and shit, I don't think any convention will be like, you're not relevant enough to show up here. So just tell everyone about the channel and we can make that happen. I want to show up everywhere in the country. All right, so let's see where we are. A lot of stuff popping up. Yeah, talking about Robin Williams and how sad he was, or how sick he was. Yeah, aggressive Parkinson's. One thing, just to get personal with you guys for a minute, the one joke, I can take jokes about all kinds of stuff, and this isn't even geared towards me. The one thing I don't like people joking about is when people make fun of Michael J. Fox for being sick. Maybe I'm too personally attached to Back to the Future and Family Ties. But when people make those jokes, for some reason, I just get pissed off. I don't find them funny. So that's just me. I don't know. I'm not trying to bring the tone of this show down. The hot chick from Jan Silent Bob Strikes Back, was she the first Buffy? No, was her name Willow or some shit? Eliza Dushku was in Jan Silent Bob Strike Back. John Harrison, I will check out The Fisher King. Jeff Bridges is one of my favorite actors. Yes, Robin Williams stand-up was outstanding. I have Live at the Met on my old computer, which I haven't even used in years. Black Panther was kind of shit. Robin Williams was amazing. Representation equals narcissism. Thank you, Tony. I agree 100%. I don't need a character to look like me at all. If they're awesome, they're awesome. I mean, Kamikaze Johnson, it was a run by fruiting. I think that's my favorite line of that whole movie. I got to see Mrs. Doubtfire in theaters, and my grandma had it on tape. She liked it that much that she bought it, and I'd go over and watch it with her. Let's see. Grendel fan, thank you very much again for your super chat. Best zombie movie ever. Blew my mind as a kid. Grendel fan, I hope you can join us on Friday night at 11:30. If it's not too late, I know you run a store and you're open on Saturdays, so I understand if you can't. But if you are available to join us, please do. We love as many people to watch the show and ask us questions, bring up points and stuff like that. I've always wanted World Class Bullshitters to be an extension of how it is to hang out with Dion and I think that's working just, crazy. Let's see. Maref Dialine, thank you very much. Just tuning in. Slow day at work. Those are the worst. When you're busy and you just get through your day real quick and then you realize, oh, it's 5 o'clock, time to go home. Those are the best. The worst for me was when I worked at 7-Up. We'd have like 12-hour days. Now, it paid good money, but it just was a soul-sucking job. I couldn't imagine doing that for 30 years. Like, my uncle works at Pepsi. He's been there 30 years. The dude busts his ass. My family's full of people like that really work hard. And in my uncle's case, I hope he has a decent retirement. In my mom's case, I'm going to take care of her, so it doesn't really matter. My point is, everybody in my family has had like a pretty physical job that just kind of sapped a lot of their life away. The Grendel fan, 84 says, for Return of the Living Dead, I'll be there. All right, man. All right. I'm going to hold you to it. Robin Williams liked Legend of Zelda. You damn right. He named his daughter after that. It's funny. Robin Williams loved Zelda, and he named his daughter after that. And Zelda's close to my mom and I, too, because like I told on the show before, when my mom was pregnant with me, her and my dad would play that game every night. Like, he'd come home from work, and they'd play Zelda and try to get through the puzzles. And then he died before he could finish the game. So I kind of picked up with Ocarina of Time and kind of kept it rolling that way. So Zelda's always been special to us, too. Zelda's one of those things. It's like, there's a new Zelda game coming out, I gotta buy it. Kind of like as a family legacy type of thing. So Nintendo, thank you. I guess I don't know if I should even thank you. I missed your super chat, John Huey. Okay, I apologize. Give me a second, and I'll make sure I go back and read it right now. So let's see. Give me just a moment, folks. I don't want to shortchange John, because that would be pretty shitty. Thank you for standing by. There we go. That's how we do it. Open a new window. Okay, let's see. Okay, John Huey says, watch Harmy. What origin? Wait, it says watch Harmy question mark. WA origin Joker with conflicting shorts. Harmy, do you mean like the despecialized Harmy guy? Like those? Oh, you sent me the Star Wars stuff, right? That's you? I watched those. Yeah, I watched them actually. I checked them out when you first sent them to me, and then I went back and looked at the special edition change parts and stuff. I'm gonna watch them in greater length and give you guys a video when I can. It's gonna be kind of easy to do because I know the Star Wars trilogy by heart. But yeah, I did watch those. Thank you for sending those, by the way. I appreciate that. And then what about the origin Joker origin story with conflicting origins, like as a short? I'd like that movie. I don't know how this Joaquin Phoenix role is going to go with De Niro. It's probably going to be a gangster flick. And I love gangster flicks like from Scorsese and stuff like that. We got to see how it works with Joker. I'll be blown away if it's really good. I hope it's, Joker and not just Joker's an afterthought type of thing. Rhino, you work for 12-hour days, but you're off 4 days. That's how my mom was. She used to work at a bag factory in the 90s. So she'd work 4 days and then sleep for a little bit. And then the next 3 days or whatever, or 4 days were us doing shit, going to Chuck E. Cheese. Gerlach 1025, I hope you can find a new job and get out in the world and do something else. Dio Brando, don't bullshit me. Wand of Gamelon's the best Zelda. I'm going to hold you to it, man. Like, we're going to do something. We're going to talk about Zelda. I'm going to have you on the channel, and you have to defend Wand of Gamelon for 4 hours straight. The next High Council, Barbarella, is tonight. It is on Jeremy's channel because Jeremy restarts the cycle. I don't know what we're going to be talking about, but it's tonight at 9 o'clock on Geeks and Gamers, so be there. And like I said, folks, later on this afternoon, I'm going to be back with another live stream. And I'm not closing the stream out at all. We still got 30 minutes. I'll be back this afternoon. We're going to talk about the Worldcon controversy, the whole SJWs eating themselves over the literary world. I'm going to have a special guest, published author Mike Leone. He's going to come on and explain the situation to me, to you guys, and it's going to be fun. We'll have a very interesting discussion later on today. They're bringing back Charmed. I didn't watch Charmed initially. I don't like Rose McGowan or Shannon Doherty. I loved Link's Awakening on Game Boy. I had that for Game Boy Color. That was my first. When I was a kid, don't ask me how. Oh, so my mom used to be a bartender at the time, and she'd give me, at the time, she'd give me she'd make tips, and she'd like, here's your allowance. So I saved my allowance for months, and I got a Game Boy Color and Link's Awakening, and it was a lot of fun. Reboot WKRP with the cast of The Wire. All right. You should recast that show with us, those bullshitters. Yeah, folks, a lot of people are talking about the jobs they hate. If you can financially afford it, go out and find a job you love. And if you can't find something that is financially as viable, but doesn't suck as much. I've had this discussion with my mom many a time. She worked for a company. She worked 7 days a week. 1 week she worked 93 hours, and she got chastised for working too much. And it was just a terrible thing. And now she's at a new company and her life's a lot better. So the grass is greener out there, folks. Don't feel stuck in your jobs. Don't feel like you can't do anything. If you hate it, start looking and you'll find something. Thank you, Robert W. Yeah, my mom's great. Like, I love her. She's awesome. I have I can't really complain about anything. She's been awesome. It's just been the two of us the whole time, but she's always had my back. And thanks to her, we have this awesome channel because she's like, do what you love, and I believe in you, and she's helped support me to get to here. So we owe her a lot. If there's a fifth pillar of world-class bullshitters, it's her. She does all behind-the-scenes stuff. Rhino4563 says, Jeff, I had left. Did you talk about Titans? I did not. Folks, if you'd like to talk about Titans with me, just ask me specific questions. Like, you can just at me or whatever so I can read them, because I'll give you a quick overview, and I really don't have too much to say. I hated the trailer. I thought that was one of the dumbest looking trailers ever. Fan-made stuff looks better than the Titan trailer. I didn't like Robin stabbing a guy in the neck, breaking his neck, saying fuck Batman. That just didn't feel like Robin. I didn't enjoy Starfire looking like a prostitute. Beast Boy looked dumb. I don't have anything positive to say about it. And I like the original Teen Titans. When there's trouble, you know who to call. Teen Titans. That show was awesome. I don't like Teen Titans Go, but it's not for me, but I can't stand watching it. It's funny, though. The people in comic book shows today, like the people that are making this shit, are trying to make kid shows that have no lasting value. Guys, Batman the Animated Series is 26 years old. We're still talking about it like it's brand new. Let's get these people that are making these shows for the 5-minute approach out of here, and let's get something in for the long haul. I'll watch, as an adult, I'll watch a Batman cartoon if it's cool and it's like long form. Same with Superman. Same with any DC character. You had the right idea with Young Justice, but they got rid of that for stupid reasons. It's going to fail like every group DC movie so far, says Thresher Ball. Yeah, it's not really... I'm going to get the DC streaming service for a month to check it out. I'm not going to watch that show at all, unless I will... unless you guys want me to review it or something. Grendel Fan 84, thank you very much again. It looks dark and incredibly cheap. Cheaper than a web series cheap. Yeah, Death Battle looks more authentic than this new Titan show. Yeah, they found a way to sneak those shitty ideologies in, but they also found a way to alienate the audience by making it look poor, like poorly done. We live in 2018, folks, with enough money, and not even like DC or Warner Brothers money, but with a small budget, the guys and I can go out and film something that looks cinematic on basic equipment nowadays. That's the one beautiful thing about technology and filmmaking. It's given everybody an access point. You can do it with a high-end phone. You can do it with a decent camera. You can make movies and stuff on the cheap. The script costs no money. If you have a great script and a great idea, you can make it happen. I don't know how Titans can have Warner Brothers money behind it and look like absolute dog shit. This is a terrible, terrible idea. If anything, they wanted to make some serious bucks and some interest in the streaming service, pull out all stops, do a Batman show. I know people are like, Batman's always the adapted thing, but Batman's their biggest property, and it will always be their biggest property and their best property. A live-action Batman show that actually features Batman? Anything. Fuck. If you want to drop some serious coin and get people to sign up for this streaming service, do some like Elseworld Batman movie. Make another Nolan Batman movie. Do something crazy and say it's only on the streaming service. It'll never hit Blu-ray. People will be lined up for that. Imagine that. That's how you incite interest or get excitement for these streaming services. You give people something that they'll never get anywhere else. A Titan show that looks like shit is not going to get people to separate from their money. No, Nathaniel York, I have not seen the comparison pictures between cosplayers and the Titan show, but I'm sure the cosplayers... Oh, wait, yeah, I have. Yeah, I have. I've seen it. It's 3 rows of 3. I've seen that image. David Hervey, thank you very much for your super chat and good morning. What do you think about the new Young Justice season? Is it out yet? Because I haven't seen it. But if it's just coming out, I'm excited for it. Shows like that need to be given a second chance. Hell, make that a streaming service exclusive. And if it gets enough views, you keep pumping it out. I'm all for that kind of stuff. DC shows can have a little bit of a heavier tone in terms of cartoons. Like, remember when all the superhero shows had kind of a heavy tone, but were fun? X-Men had a heavy tone. Spider-Man had it at times. Batman was always just one big heavy tone. Why not do that? Those shows are still in demand, and it's not because of nostalgia. Those shows do hold up well. Who's talking about Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man? Nobody positively. Who's still talking about Beware the Batman? Some people, but not as many. Why keep... Marvel shows are shit now, the cartoons. Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes or whatever, that show is great. Why can't we just have something that keeps like going? This rebooting every 2 or 3 years shit helps nobody. Jeff Loeb and all the people over there are the wrong people to be in charge. You need a Bruce Timm kind of guy and an Eric Radomski and a Paul Dini. You need a team like that to further all these shows. You need just long-running shows. Kids can get in, constantly have a long-running show, always have a toy line, have it available widely for these kids to consume no matter what your economic background is. That's how you get fans for life. Network TV is not the way it used to be. I think the government had a mandate that you couldn't have cartoons anymore on Saturdays, so that ended with what, Beyblade or whatever that thing on the CW was. That was it. Find a way to bring that back, or do something at night. Remember, guys, Batman Beyond debuted at night. You could do a nighttime cartoon on like a Friday. Give kids something to get excited for. Make them feel like an adult. As an adult, you can stay up all night and do whatever the fuck you want. You have to suffer the consequences, but give those kids something to look forward to on network TV. Put Batman or Spider-Man or Superman, something on a Friday night at 8 o'clock, and then they can start their weekend off right with something cool, and they can get a toy and a video game and all that shit. You could milk it forever. Do something like that. Let's see where we're at. We're getting close to the end, so if you guys want to start the Ask Jeff Anything portion of the show, please do. This has been a very stacked episode of Good Morning Pop Culture. We actually didn't even go back to the top of the hour once, because it seems like everyone's stuck with us the whole time, and we've been talking about all kinds of shit. So if you guys have any questions you'd like to ask about me or pop culture, or pitch any ideas or anything, just tag me, guys. Just tag me. And yeah, I miss Saturday morning cartoons too. 4Kids was the CW. Okay. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I love that show. Thank you again, Grendel fan, very much. Speaking of Batman and the Joker, new comic book series announced at San Diego Comic-Con from DC's Black Label. The Three Jokers by John and Fabok. In continuity. Okay, so Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok. Fantastic artist. I was reading some detective comic the other day that yeah, guys, I just laugh, but I had a comic book in my kitchen. I don't know what I was doing down there, but I was microwaving some oatmeal, and there was a comic book on top of my microwave. And I don't know how long it had been there, but I was flipping through. I'm like, man, this art is great. So him teamed up with Jeff Johns sounds pretty cool. Now, I don't know what DC's Black Label is. Is it, I guess it's just an exclusive, more mature comic. Maybe it's a higher quality paper or something. It's a way to make money. I get it. That's what the comic book business is. They need to make money to survive. I will have to check it out. I give comic books a 3-issue leeway. You can hook me in 3 issues, I'm a reader for a long time. If you lose me in 1, I'm not coming back at all. So I'll have to check that out. 3 Jokers by Jeff Johns. Grendel fan, you make me want to go back and check out all the comic book news I missed from Comic-Con, because that's kind of why this show exists, for comic books. Maybe I'll do that. I got to work on my next video. It's about comic books, but I'll do that. By the way, folks, Grendel Fan 84 works at a comic book shop. It's called Comics Elite. So find him on Facebook, and he's not paying me to say that, but you got to help comic books stay alive. So thank you, Grendel Fan 84. Yeah, I want USA Up All Night back, and I also want more Joe Bob Briggs. Zaire says, what did you think of the Batman Brave and the Bold? I liked it. For what it was, I enjoyed it. I loved the animation. I thought it was a really great looking show. I thought that, what's his face? Not D. Bradley Baker. What is the guy's name? Diedrich Bader. I thought he had a great Batman voice. And I loved the design. It was fun. That's a show for kids that I can watch and go, I get it, it's for kids. But it has a lot of great throwbacks to classic DC stuff. And I respect the shit out of that show. So I like it. That's really all I have to say about it. If I could find a very cheap Batman Brave and the Bold basic action figure, maybe for like $5 would be my maximum, I'd like to add him to the collection of Batman toys. The Cobra Viper said, yes, let's talk about Brave and the Bold. By the way, Zaire, I'm going to watch your animation today and talk about it on the High Council tonight, because a ton of people will be watching. Like I said earlier, I was at Raw last night, so any message that people sent me was I saw it and I have to respond properly. Like the emails. I know a lot of people have been sending emails, but I've been responding to all of them. So thank you. But the Brave and Bold, I've only seen a handful of episodes. I saw one where Batman was trapped on a giant clock, and I thought that was cool. There was a video game that looks pretty neat on the Wii. It looked just like the cartoon. See, I like platformers more as an adult than I did as a kid, because I wanted to move into 3D and do the next stuff. And now I guess I look back, maybe it's nostalgia, but these platformers are fucking cool. I like the 2.5D platformers as well, but nicely like animated ones that look straight out of the cartoon are an easy sell to me. I wish they'd do another Batman Oh, there's a Batman the Animated Series game that came out for the Super Nintendo. This was just called The Adventures of Batman and Robin, but you don't play as Robin. It's awesome. I love that game. Re-release that with 4K reanimated graphics. I'm sold because the game was cool. It had detecting. It had all kinds of shit. It was hard too. Man, Konami pumped out some great games in the 90s. But yeah, Cobra Viper, I've only seen a handful of episodes. There's one with Superman that I liked. And maybe this sounds shallow, but I like watching the show for how good it looks. So maybe I can overlook some of the sillier aspects. If that show hits the DC streaming service in HD, I'll watch it and review it. Maybe I can use that as an excuse to get the DC streaming service. I'll just review everything on there and we'll have discussions about it and have some fun. Nat Denon, I didn't know Geeks and Gamers was having a meltdown. Like I told you guys earlier, we're friends. We have each other's backs, but I don't watch everything they do. So I don't know the specifics of any situation. So I'm sorry that I can't answer your question. Tag on it. Thanks, Robert. James Bond roundtable discussion. Trent, we can have that as soon as you finish the Bond flicks. And I'm being honest, we'll have a James Bond roundtable. It'll be you, me, Nick Kendo, Dion, and that'll be it. We'll be here live. People can send in their questions and stuff like that. But because you're new to the franchise, I want your perspective as well as ours. You know, we've been watching the movies our whole lives. I've been watching James Bond since I was 7 years old. Seen them all multiple times. So Trent, once you're done, we can have a James Bond roundtable discussion. Don't worry. Logan Michael, what Marvel Legends are you excited that were revealed at San Diego Comic-Con? They need to stop making Marvel Legends because I'm going to pre-order myself into bankruptcy with all these fucking Marvel Legends figures. There were so many. I want Gambit. I want Archangel. I want the guys from AIM. I want Ultron. I want all of them. Like, seriously. I have this weird desire to collect an entire line of X-Men figures as an adult. I guess I wanted them as a kid and didn't get them all. But now as an adult, I'm just like, I got to own the X-Men. I got to have all. So that's my answer to you, Logan Michael. Let's see, Grendel fan. 84 says it's DC's new prestige format line. Okay, so he's talking about the Black Label. Maybe I'll head up to Rock and Rooster, my local comic book store, and pick up the first issue whenever that drops to support my local comic book store. Love those guys so much. David Hervey, I missed your super chat. I'm pretty sure I read your one about let's see, David Hervey. Okay, so they showed the new trailer at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend in terms of his Justice League Young Justice season thing. David Hervey, thank you for being patient. I did not get a chance to see that trailer, so I don't know exactly what to say, but I can watch it by tomorrow, and you guys can ask me again, and I'll gladly answer that question for you, because for me to not try to support what my cause is of, you know, quality entertainment that's long form for kids would be hypocritical. So I will watch that today, and you can get back with me tomorrow, or the High Council. I'll watch it later this afternoon, and you guys can ask me what I think then. So thank you, David Hervey. And I apologize for missing it the first time. Like I said, folks, if I ever miss your super chat, don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. Just tell me I missed it, and I'll go up to the other window, and I will make sure I read it and get back right to you. So thank you, guys. Gerlach, this is one of my favorite questions. Did I ever watch James Bond Jr.? Dude, not only did I watch it, I had every toy. I dressed up like James Bond Jr. for Halloween like 1992. I had both video games for the Super Nintendo as well as the basic NES. James Bond Jr. sits on my shelf right now. I'm looking at him next to Goku and Inspector Gadget and Agent J from Men in Black. I love James Bond Jr. I can sing the theme song by heart. It's on my phone. My mom and I watch that show regularly. Let's see here. There, I'm definitely going to watch more of it when I get a chance. Let's see. Cesario Japan, thank you for your super chat. Best Bond car chase. GoldenEye parking garage #1. Do you mean the Tomorrow Never Dies car chase from the parking garage? Because I would say that's the best one. Because GoldenEye doesn't have a car chase. It has a car chase, but it's Xenia and Bond in France. But the parking garage is from Tomorrow Never Dies, and I think that's the best Bond car chase. The music's great. I listened to that on my phone, actually. The song's called, oh, that's not Company Car. That's the one where he first gets the car. I listen to that music a lot. Tomorrow Never Dies is a very underrated Bond flick, in my opinion. It doesn't get the love I think it deserves, especially in today's the way we consume media today. It has a lot more to say now than it did in 1997. Other great Bond card chases, the Lotus chase from The Spy Who Loved Me was excellent. I really enjoyed the shit out of the car chase from Die Another Day. I know the movie's not good, but the part where Bond's upside down and he uses the ejector seat to flip over the missile, that's fucking cool. Daniel Craig, I liked the car chase in Spectre quite a bit. I thought that was a really cool chase. But yeah, Tomorrow Never Dies Parking Garage is my all-time favorite one. Why haven't I tried Gotham? I have tried it. I just don't like shows about heroes that don't have the actual versions of the heroes in it. But if you're into it, John, more power to you, my friend. It just wasn't for me. And I don't like Jada Pinkett Smith too much. Am I a fan of Cuphead? I would be if I had an Xbox. The concept looks amazing. I like the shooter genre, and I love the animation. I want more games that look like that. A lot of Brave and Bold love. I guess I got to watch more of it. Like I said, if it hits the streaming service, guys, you're going to get Brave and the Bold updates. Play Sonic Mania Plus, Jeff. So good. Well, Cadmium Red, I already have Sonic Mania for the Switch, and I love the shit out of it. Zaire says, the Batman the Animated Series game for Sega, you could be Robin, if I recall. Brave and the Bold final episode was great. Also had the best animated version of Aquaman. The Batman the Animated Series game for Sega did have Robin because it was a way different game. Batman and Robin were playable simultaneously, and they were like, it was like a shooter almost with Batman and Robin. It was a much different type of game. I liked it. I remember playing it at my first friend's house, Andrew Birding. We played it a couple times. It was fun. But I preferred the Super Nintendo one because that's what I had as a kid. Like, I had the system as a kid, and I think the graphics look better, and I liked the ability to go to the Batcave, pick your weapons, get a call from Alfred, all this stuff. It was awesome. And by the way, Dio Brando talking about Adam West Batman. My favorite Adam West Batman moment doesn't even come from Adam West Batman. It's in the animated series, The Gray Ghost, when he talks about how I watched you as a kid. You were my hero. That was cool. Get you right in the feels every time. Dio Brando again says, thank you for your super chat, Dio Brando. Anime Gate was starting up at Comic-Con this year. These SJW people just ruin everything. Like, can we not have a good time? I'm trying not to be get too preachy right now, but let's just have fun. It's entertainment. It's supposed to be entertaining. It's supposed to reflect our society. This small fringe minority doesn't represent society, guys. I know we're only a small group that watches this every morning. We're actually a lot of people, between 500 to 700 people watch this show every day. We're a little lower now because we're at the end, but I think we're a better representation of what these weird SJW people are trying to put out there. That's reflective of the culture. We're people from every walk of life. We like good entertainment, and we're very civil with each other. I'm very lucky that the audience that I have here on the channel is made up of a group of good people. Like, I'll go to the bat and say, you're all good people that come here. You have a good head on your shoulders. We're not crazy talking about random bizarre shit. Everything is nice and centered, and I appreciate that. But this Anime Gate stuff, I'll have to pay attention to it. We'll see where it's going to go. Thankfully, though, the Japanese don't give a shit about this stuff, and they're not going to be like, hey, guys, we're going to make it more culturally sensitive for the American audience. They'll just be like, fuck them. We'll do our own thing. And people in America are still going to eat it up. So that's my thought. Grendel Fan 84 says, don't forget the tank chase from Goldeneye. Oh, I don't, Grendel Fan. It's funny. Since I've been talking to you guys for the last couple of minutes, I've actually been hearing that music in my head with the cool piano. And I love the tank chase from Goldeneye. I love the level in the video game, too, where you could crush people and be like, and you hear the bones crack. Oh, that's a fantastic game. Once I figure out how to live stream, I'll be I'm going to make a personal live stream. And it's going to be like Good Morning Pop Culture, but you can watch me play video games. And it'll be at night, so more people can watch. And GoldenEye will be one of those games if I can figure it out. Okay, a lot of people popping up. Okay, let me get to these because we got plenty of time this morning. If we have to go over, we have to go over. I got work to do, but I'm beyond happy to be back. I'll be honest, I was thinking about doing this yesterday, but I had to get the video out for yesterday morning, so I figured video and then pop culture all week. Plus, I'm going to have extra live streams, so we'll have a lot of time to hang out. So, let's see. I love Batman, the video game on Game Boy, one of my favorite games on the system. Never played it on the Game Boy. The earliest Batman game I've played was for the NES, just the movie. Gotham took a while, but Gordon and Alfred are the best characters, hands down. Penguin and Riddler are interesting, but you might not jive. Who equals ahoy? But call me Bags. All right, Bags. I'll call you that. You guys have specific names you want to be called? Put it first, and then or put it afterwards, and I'll do my best to remember to call you that. Did I play the Batman and Robin movie game for PlayStation? It was the first free-roam Batman game before the Arkham series. You could choose to play your hero vehicle and patrol Gotham. I remember that game being really expensive at the time. Like the other PlayStation games were like $39, and I'm almost positive that was like $59. And I remember the cover is just George Clooney's face, and it just says Batman and Robin on it. But I never played it. I've watched, I think, Mike Matei over on the Cinemasker channel play it. That's cool. I'm not going to go back and play it, even on an emulator, because, man, fuck Batman and Robin. But I do remember that game. But it is crap. Thank you, Zaire, for saying that. Let's see, all kinds of at me messages. If every member of the High Council is a Simpsons character, and Jeremy is Milhouse, who is everyone else? Oh, nice burn there, Nat. Ethan could be Barney and Mr. Burns mixed. Who would I be? I want to say Bart, but I was a good student in school, so that's not me. Who would I be on The Simpsons? I don't know, man. That's a good question. I'll be Pierce Brosnan, the voice of the house in that Halloween episode. That's one of the best. That's one of my favorite Treehouse of Horrors. Thank you, Walter. Fuck it, let's go bowling. I appreciate it. Yeah, Japan doesn't have our cancerous SJW cultures, and China hates this shit. So hopefully these companies are like, we need to make money. We can't be pushing this shit, so we gotta stop. No piano playing. Leave that to EVS. But guys, you'll never get to hear me play Axel F for you repeatedly from every part of the movie on my keyboard. I'm Smithers, but I'm not gay. Let's see. If you like Super Mario Land on Game Boy, Jeff, you'd love Batman the video game on Game Boy. Very, very fun game. I'll have to check it out. I'm getting ready to go back. I got a Super NT that I bought. I pre-ordered it months ago. I got the American Super Nintendo colors, and I got one of those nice wireless controllers to go with it. I'm looking at it. It's still wrapped in the plastic, and I got the little envelope and shit, and the controllers in the box. Maybe I'll get a Super Game Boy and play it that way. Ethan is groundskeeper Willie. Everything is coming up Millhouse, says Mahler. The Duke, BMF. What was the name? What was it in Step Brothers? Call me Nighthawk or something? I love groundskeeper Willie as well. What you eating burgers for breakfast for? Matter of fact, they don't even serve burgers this early. Hashtag Burger King. I can find a cheeseburger in my there's a street called Delhi Pike that's a little ways from my house, but you can get burgers at any time of the day if you go to the 24-hour McDonald's. I'm a lawyer guy. I'm Lionel Hutz. Thank you. I'll take Lionel Hutz. I like that. Rest in peace, Phil Hartman. He's number 2 on my list of dead celebrities I'd bring back from the grave. Best way to play it is Super Game Boy. SJWs are freaking out over the Buffy reboot. Hell, even a broken clock's... Well, they're never right, the SJW people. I'm not even going to say that. Oh, I'm Ned Flanders. That's cool. I wish I could rip off my sweater and have a 6-pack. Stupid, sexy Flanders. I love The Simpsons so much. I wish they were streaming every episode, because I would take my time and watch every Simpsons episode back to back. King Eric, I do have a GameCube. I don't have the Game Boy player. And I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money on it. But I do own a GameCube. I actually lost my GameCube. I just used the Wii. Cecil is Rolf. Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer. Lots of love for Phil Hartman on this stream. I'm really proud of you guys. I'm Snake. I've never robbed anybody, but I'll take that as a compliment. I guess I have similar sideburns. Thanks, Trent. Phil Hartman needs to be brought back. Where the hell did that go? Where'd you go, Trent? You popped up talking about Phil Hartman needs to be brought back for Bone and whatchamacallit. I'm radioactive, man. Oh, Trent, you deleted it. Okay, I'm like, where'd the message go? I was in the middle of reading it, Trent. It's cool. That one reference in Axel F is stuck in my head. Thanks for that. Well, Mr. J90, you deserve it, because Axel F is a song I probably hear too many times a day. I got the soundtrack from the movie itself, and then I have the movie deluxe revised score. And that's what I listen to every day. If you go in my car with me, you're probably going to hear Axel F at least twice. In different versions, too, not just the same song over and over again. Doomcock is the comic book guy. Yeah, but Doomcock's cool and smart and has an awesome voice. Ethan is Hank Scorpio. Yeah, he was talking about Jingle All the Way, Phil Hartman. I saw that. I just didn't get a chance to read it. Axel F on Game Boy would be awesome. I'd play a Beverly. There are Beverly Hills Cop video games. Those are my next things to add to the Beverly Hills Cop collection. Guys, I'm on a mission to collect everything from Beverly Hills Cop, and I mean everything. It's got to be officially licensed, but I'm going to buy it. So this past weekend, I picked up a 1984 pressing of the soundtrack. I guess it would have technically come out in 85 because the movie was released in December, and I don't know if the soundtrack came out the same day. I don't know how things worked back then, but it's an original pressing of the vinyl, and I'm very happy to own that. I also have a reprint, which is wrapped in plastic. I have it on cassette. I have it on CD in the plastic still, and I also have the updated score. So there we go. All right, Dia Brando wins for picking the Simpson character I am. Jeff is Duffman. I'll go with that. I'll go with Duffman. You can give me Duffman. I'm always down for a party. Zaire, I've seen Brave Star. That's the space cowboy thing, right? Cartoon? I'm pretty sure that, yeah, Cecil is Barney. Vote Quimby. Man, I love Cecil. I can't wait to have Cecil back. He's a lot of fun. You still have your Beverly Hills Cop 3 crew jacket. I don't know why. That movie was crap. Hey, I'm into film. If you ever are going to throw that away, don't contact me. I'll buy that from you. Just don't throw it away, please. I have never even heard of Rickman. So I've heard of Alan Rickman, but I've never heard of Rickman the show. Sinead O'Connor. Oh, yeah, when he was playing as Frank Sinatra on SNL. Phil Hartman was the man. Like, it's messed up his wife killed him. It's messed up if anybody's murdered. I'm not going to act like Phil Hartman was special in that regard. But, man, he was so funny, and he seemed like a good guy, too. I remember there's some stand-up comedian that was just trying to break in, and he called Phil Hartman, and Phil Hartman called him back on his voicemail and told him to, like, hang in there and all this shit to help the guy out and tell him what he needed to hear. So Phil Hartman seemed to have a good heart, and it was in the right place. Jeremy is Mo, easy to troll. I'll agree with that, Cobra Viper. Oh, Cadmium Redman, Duckman. Yeah, I saw Duckman back in the day. That was always a weird cartoon. When we first got satellite in 2001, I would watch the reruns on Comedy Central. I almost said Adult Swim. Let's see. Doomcock and Muller is itchy and scratchy. American Trent 007, thank you. Phil still needs to bone Liz and Jingle All the Way. Well, he needs to put the cookie down first before we can get to the action. Let's see. Barbarella can do a great impression of Marge's sister. So do you smoke a lot of cigarettes first, or you just, naturally that gravelly? John Harrison says, this is Troy McClure. I do like this. Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may know me as from such films as, and then he just lists off like 6 random things. One character I do love is Dr. Nick. Every time I walk into a room, I say hi, everybody, and no one has ever said hi, Dr. Nick. So it breaks my heart. Where's Poochie? He died on his way back to his home planet. Yeah, I like Jingle All the Way too. It's in my top 10 favorite Christmas movies. I need to make a list before I can accurately give you where I'd rank it. But Jingle All the Way is up there. Die Hard is a Christmas movie to me. Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, Bad Santa. Oh, what else, man? Jingle All the Way is close. Hi, Dr. Nick. Thank you, Orbital Layer. All right. So let's see. Any other questions you guys have for me this morning before we Ethan's Troy McClure, says David Hervey. Yeah. So I'll be Duffman, Ethan's Troy McClure, and Jeremy's Mo. There we go. That's the High Council as Simpsons characters. If you guys are ever curious about who the world-class bullshitters are as the Simpsons, well, ask us that on Thursday night, and we'll answer that. What do I think of Die Hard 3? Some people don't like it, but I love it. Die Hard 3 is the second best Die Hard film to me. I own it on Blu-ray. I'll go out and say it's awesome. I love Die Hard 3. The first one's essentially perfect to me, but number 3, it's nice to see McClane in his own environment. I like to see McClane beat down. I like the fact that his wife's left him, he's an alcoholic, and all that stuff. Die Hard 3 to me, if the first one's a 10 out of 10, Die Hard 2 is like about an 8 in terms of, die-hardiness. Die Hard's my third favorite movie of all time. I fucking love it with a passion. Yeah, The Ref is a great Christmas movie too. I think I like that more than I like Jingle All the Way, actually. Goddamn Kevin Spacey. Ever thought about owning a Lamborghini or Ferrari? Yeah, thought about it. If we could make it, you gonna make it happen for me there, Gamepad? If I was gonna buy a luxury car, though, it would be an Aston Martin. If I was gonna spend that kind of money, I'd get something from a James Bond flick, depending on how comfortable the car is. Oh, Scrooged. Yeah, Scrooged is up. Scrooged is over The Ref and Jingle All the Way, and probably Bad Santa and Christmas. Maybe Scrooged is my third favorite Christmas movie. I love A Christmas Story for nostalgia, but Scrooged is fantastic. Bill Murray's great. Bill Murray can do comedic. He can do serious. Plus, it's Richard Donner, and you guys know how we feel about Richard Donner. John, you better watch the entire Die Hard series. By the way, John, if enough people show up, we'll do an entire Die Hard stream. I'll try to get the guys together, and we'll do all 4 Die Hards. Yeah, not 5 because it doesn't exist. But we'll try to do all the Die Hards in one day. We'll start early. We'll do all the Die Hards. So if you guys have enough interest in that, press F. Kendo is Fat Tony. Yeah, Kendo is Fat Tony. You don't care for Christmas movies in general, says Scott. That's cool. I like holiday flicks a lot. Are the High Councils twice a week now? No, they're not. We're just doing we were doing High Council watch parties. So the High Council is always going to be Tuesday nights, just once a week. And it's going back to Jeremy, Ethan, and I for the next cycle of High Councils. So we're going to give you the purest form of the High Council. So lots of Fs. So people really do want Die Hard. Grendelfan84, thank you very much again. Every time I get new movie watching technology, the first movie I watch is Die Hard. That's a good choice. For me, Grendelfan, every time I get a new television, the first movie I test out every time is GoldenEye. The only exception was the first TV I ever got because I got that TV before GoldenEye came out. But I have my movie test, and that's GoldenEye. But you pick an excellent one. I could literally watch Die Hard right now and not be bored because I'd be like, I'm going to watch 10 minutes of it. I'm going to watch till the end. I kind of want to watch part 3 now. So, Die Hard, man. All day, every day. I've seen the movie Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I like the part where he shoots the alligators like, your luggage. It makes me laugh. It's so dumb. Is Die Hard in 4K? Yeah, it came out recently in 4K. From what I read on Blu-ray.com, though, it's not that great of a transfer because a lot of Die Hard's filmed out of focus, so they can't fix that. Thresher Mall, we are going to get more people in the High Council. Actually, I'm going to get more channels to appear here in a more of a one-on-one thing, and I'll be doing like little live streams. I'll try to get Mauler and Dishonored Wolf together on here for you guys and stuff like that. So don't worry, the High Council's not going away or anything like that, but just for the next cycle, because we haven't been able to get enough people locked down, and we want to keep this next cycle consistent. Die Hard or Lethal Weapon? Die Hard all day, every day. I enjoy Lethal Weapons as a series. I think Lethal Weapons is the best action franchise as a whole because all 4 are excellent. But Die Hard 1 trumps all those. All day, every day, man. New TV test. Big wet asses 21. If the pimples aren't on the ass in HD, why bother? What the fuck? We've had Doomcock on the High Council. Doomcock wants to have a discussion with me, so I'm going to invite him on the channel soon. I need to sit down today and write down who wants who and when I can get them on the show. Because remember, folks, I'm only available on Mondays and the weekends. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are always booked up. If you're a patron, we do all your recording for Patreon on Wednesdays. And if you're a fan of the High Council, that's where I am. And then Thursday night's World Class Bullshitters, as well as your World Class Bullshitters After Hour extra podcast over on Patreon. So I'm booked up all the time. So there we go. More Cecil, the better. Well, Cecil's on vacation, guys. So if he pops up, awesome. If not, it'll be a little bit, but we'll have him back on. So, folks, I think we're going to close this episode of Good Morning Pop Culture out. It's been so good to be back. It's been so much fun. I don't mind getting up at the crack of dawn with very little sleep to discuss entertainment with you guys for, 2 hours and change every day. So, like I said, we're going to be evolving. We're going to be adding the Google Voice soon. We're going to be eventually going 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, just because I feel like a lot of people need an outlet on Monday mornings to get through the work week. Because even in school, I used to dread Mondays because I liked school. I was a good student, but man, the weekends and summer vacation, you just don't want to have to go back and be, working and shit like that. Alpha Terranima, you did miss the Godzilla trailer, but you are such a super fan of World Class Bullshitters. I will give you a quick rundown. So I want to just tell everyone thank you who has stuck with us the entire time. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll always be back for you guys on the next stream. In Gamepad, I'll answer your question in just a moment. So Alpha Terranima, just for you. I liked the Godzilla trailer quite a bit. I thought the film looked good. I'm a big Godzilla fan, so that's a bonus. And I'm excited to see like King Ghidorah and Mothra. I don't think we saw Rodan. But I'm excited to see a monster battle royale. Now, I hope that there's not a double standard with this film, because last time in Godzilla 2014, everyone bitched about too much not enough Bryan Cranston, but too much of the people and not enough Godzilla. And now they'll probably give you a lot more Godzilla, and I hope the people don't bitch that, we don't get enough Millie Bobby Brown and Vera Farmiga. They try to make it overtly political. So, Alpha Terranima, Godzilla is one of my all-time favorite. He's my favorite movie monster. I have Godzilla 2014. I also have Kong Skull Island. I'd like to get a box set with all the Godzilla stuff and watch it and just have fun. Yeah, I know it's dudes in suits, but it's an art form from another time, and I respect the shit out of it. And to see Godzilla back, and I love the new design. I know a lot of people don't, but I'm a fan of the new Godzilla, and I think I'll even pick up a figure arts version of Godzilla for Godzilla King of Monsters. Gamepad, though, what is the best fight scene in the Fast and Furious franchise? I like the one on the airplane where Gal Gadot dies. I thought that was pretty cool. I still like the first one where they chase down the semi-truck. That was neat. That was grittier and different. The one where they have I guess this is a chase, but where they have the vault and they're, Fast 5. I liked that. I like the Fast and Furious movies a lot. They're dumb fun. I even like the part, was it 8 in New York? That was all cool to me. They're never going to win an Oscar, nor do they deserve to, but they make a lot of money because they're fun, and that's what we need. Entertainment is a lot of fun. Thank you, Cadmium Red. I really appreciate that. Tina Beebe, I hope I'm saying your name right. Is it Bybee? I apologize, but thank you, Tina, for making your morning. Thank you for saying what you said, so I appreciate that. Will I ever have someone on like Godzilla in the show, like ETN? Somebody who likes Godzilla? Yeah, you guys really have a lot of power on who shows up on the channel. So all you got to do is point me in their direction, and then we all contact them together, and we can make it happen. Thank you, Alpha Terranima. The NECA Godzilla from 2014. I'll have to check that out. If I can find it cheapy, on the cheap, I'll pick one up. Maybe I'll go to my local toy store, my vintage one, and see what they got to offer me in terms of Godzilla. Oh, Rogue Leader. You're just trying to ruffle my feathers. Super Troopers 1 and 2 are the best cop movies ever. Well, you're entitled to your opinion, my friend, but Axel Foley says differently, as well as John McClane. So, folks, this seems like the perfect way to end Good Morning Pop Culture. I'll be back later today with another live stream. I'm waiting to hear back official words from a guy named Mike Leone. He's an author. You should be checking out his stuff. He used to be a sponsor of World Class Bullshitters. And we're going to talk about this SJW garbage that's coming out of WorldCon, where the Hugo Awards are given out. So there's all kinds of crazy shit going out. People are being misgendered or whatever, the pronouns, all that dumb shit these people complain about. It's a shit show, and they're tearing up the program, and it's a crazy, crazy time. So I'm going to have him on here, and it's just basically going to be a dumpster fire of a fun chat. We're just going to rip into how stupid these people can get. So, Grendel Fan, you get the final super chat. Thank you, Grendel Fan, personally for me. Awesome. So I appreciate that so much. And so he says, support your local comic book stores, folks. Yeah, really. This isn't meant to be a PSA, but really, comic book stores they're small, but they really need your help. They deserve to be, they're like a meeting place for people with similar interests. And my local comic book store, Rock and Rooster, is very welcoming. You should check out places like Comics Elite on their Facebook page because they can get you books even if you're not in the neighborhood, and you can have a community. Comic book stores are a big community that sadly are dying out because of the garbage that these companies are putting out. So if you can support your local comic book store by picking up a back issue or a trade paperback of something, there's something there for everybody in the comic book industry. That's why I get mad when they talk about, oh, we need more inclusion. They always have had inclusive characters that are for everybody. People can be straight, gay, anything in between, black, white, and everything in between. Comic books have had had people that you can see, identify with, or be identifying with the whole time. So, yes, Grendel fans, support your local comic book store, folks. And that's it for this morning. So, good morning, pop culture, and see you guys on the other side. And by the other side, I don't mean death, just on the other side of noon.